Ladies and gentlemen, to this national semi-final between the Manchester Titans and the Bristol Aztecs. I'm Sam Bloomfield, and I'm joined in the booth today by a special guest, famed Britbowl commentator and media personality, Tebs.
Hello, Sam. It's an absolute pleasure to be here in Manchester. I mean, it's strange in Britbowl. You don't really get to say, oh, I've only seen this place on TV. But I mean, Bellevue is one of those places, and now I'm here. It's a wonderful place to be and a great day for some football.
Lovely day, and a big matchup. The Titans are taking on the Aztecs in what will be their fourth matchup in as many years. The first two of those matches go into the side of the Titans, and the most recent one in 2024, last season, Aztecs managed to get over the hurdle and beat the Titans to advance to the national final. And here we are again with this same matchup. The squads might change, the coaching staff may change, and the playbooks may change, but there's a lot of familiarity between these two teams. And I think that we can dive a little bit into their seasons and what this matchup is like. So we just have a look there at the Manchester Titans season. Shaky start against the Phoenix in a low-scoring affair. Defensive battle, lots of special teams at play there, which made the Phoenix, the Coventry Phoenix, they ended up coming away with a win there. And if you just have a look at the rest of the results, you can see the improvement from the Titans, both offensively and maintaining that defensive dominance throughout the season. But Bristol offer a different challenge entirely, don't they, Tebs? We can have a quick look at Bristol's season here.
I mean, Bristol have got a high-flying offense, led by their QB, Ethan Gretzinger. I mean, he is an absolute master slinging this ball. Darian St. Robinson, Josh Petrie, 12 different receivers for the Bristol Aztecs have caught a touchdown this year. They've had some, I'd say, surprising losses. No one thought that the Blitz were going to go in and beat the Warriors. Close game nonetheless, and then ending their regular season with a draw against the London Warriors. I spoke to a few of the Aztecs, and they said, I spoke to them after the game, they said that is going to keep them humble. That's what they say. They keeps them hungry because they know that they can run the Warriors close. But it's not London Warriors yet. They've still got to get through the Manchester Titans.
Absolutely, and that final result, however huge, is going to have a massive impact on the Aztecs' confidence, on the Aztecs' mentality going into this game. So I suppose if we break down the previous meetings between the Aztecs and the Titans, if we cast our minds all the way back to 2022, we had a back and forth affair between the Titans and the Aztecs. High scoring, Titans had the lead at the half, and then, a resurgent Aztecs came back and really pushed until the final whistle. Following year in 2023 wasn't quite as close, but as someone who participated in that game, I can confidently and comfortably say that it never felt too comfortable until we were right there in the ending minutes of the fourth quarter. And then if we look to last season's semi-final, Aztecs really switching on their offense, defense, really dominant, and the Titans just never really had an answer for the Aztecs in that 2024 final. So this year we're really in a position where we've got that question mark again between the north and the south. We've seen a relatively dominant Aztec side, other than when they're against a top team or two. We've seen a relatively dominant Manchester team, again, other than when they're against those top two teams. So the question today really is, which team's going to come out on top? And I think that it's not unfair to say that the Aztecs, on paper, would be the favourites today. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think that's one of the most interesting parts about this matchup that we're about to witness, is that in the other 3 matchups, the Titans have come into their home stadium feeling good as the favourites. People are expecting the Titans to win. However, today, the Aztecs, I'd say they're the favourites. The Manchester Titans, they need to really embrace being the underdog and arguably shocking the entire Britbowl world with a victory here today. And I mean, going forward, I mean, what's interesting is the London Warriors have not beaten the Manchester Titans in the 2020s, which will set up a very interesting matchup if the Titans were to win on September 7th for Britbowl
37.
I think it is 37.
Britbowl 37, yes. Yeah, absolutely right. And one thing that's of real significance is the Titans are actually undefeated at home in the regular season entirely, and until last season, when the Aztecs came here and beat the Titans 34-12, Titans were undefeated at home since 2019, all in all. But the Aztecs came in last year and managed to deal that loss to the Titans. Now, obviously, as we've mentioned, there's quite a few roster changes since that matchup for both teams. And what we'll do is we'll just have a look at some of those Titans offensive starters. So at centre, we have Scott Tomlinson. Left guard, we've got Mikey Thompson. At left tackle, Andy Jones. At right guard, we have Tom Worrell. At right tackle, Owen Smith. And then the receivers, we've got Sam Penfold, Connor Greenhalgh, and Manny Eze. In the backfield, interesting to note that there's 2 running backs in the backfield today. So Titans looking to potentially adopt that pistol or split backfield with I'm just trying to get my pronunciation correct here. We've got Hafiz Bisiriu, and we have Nathan Dukes with Charlie Martin behind centre. So really quite a different squad from the one that played the Bristol last year. In fact, if I have a look at this team, I think there's perhaps 2 players who were consistent starters or contributors for the Titans who are on this starting offense. So if we kind of flip the coin and have a look at the defense, starting in the secondary, the 2 cornerbacks, we have Josh Balela and we have James Williams. Got a trio of safeties with Daniel Ward, Jack Mayfield, and Jerome Darko. In the middle, we've got Abdul Madugu, and we have Don Espina. And then on the defensive line, we have David Annie, Charlie Dixon, Cade Makin, and Michael Osibodu. So a lot of new faces for this Titans team, but the Bristol side, whilst they, again, have some key players, some consistent players from last year and throughout the years, a lot of new faces there as well, which will kind of break down as the day goes on. Yeah, so when we cast our minds back to that last semi-final, I know you weren't here, Tebs, but I'll just kind of give an overview of how that game went, I suppose. The Titans are a high-flying passing offense, and they use their defense, they use their running game to almost supplement that, and they have what I would call a horizontal kind of passing attack. What they're trying to do is they're trying to take advantage of matchups on screens and get the ball out wide and quickly. And they're going to try and establish the run so that the players who are in the box around the offensive line are in a bit of a conflict situation where they're not certain as to whether to play the run more or the pass more. But unfortunately for the Titans last year, they just couldn't quite get a run game going, which meant that they were almost entirely reliant on the passing game. And Bristol, with a very talented defence and secondary in particular, players like Eddie Omenade, arguably one of the best, if not the best, defensive back in the country. You know, Titans found it really tough, and Bristol just chipped away with a strong run game, which you'll see plenty of today. Players like Emmanuel Bauer, and then you know, even last year with Benzie at quarterback, they had plenty of success passing the ball. But this year, as you mentioned, with their new quarterback, who is an American international, I believe, extremely talented, has had a phenomenal year, and I would expect there to be some fireworks today.
I mean, I've had the pleasure of watching Ethan Gretzinger both at the Aztecs and when he was in for the University of the West of England Bullets against their game against Leeds Beckett last year. And I mean, he's going to be playing quarterback for the UE Bullets this year, and their championship ways may continue for the man out of Palos Verdes, California. But he's got some other Americans around him. And just to highlight some of those, Josh Petrie out of North Carolina. An interesting fact about Josh Petrie, and one that I absolutely love, he's, I think, probably one of the few people in the country who holds both a Division II Southern Championship with the University of Brighton Panthers and a Premiership University American Football Championship with the UE Bullets last year. He is an absolute gadget man, a Swiss Army knife for this Bristol Aztec side. He can run, he can pass, and he can catch. So, I mean, watch out for Josh Petrie, but also Darius St. Robinson out of Atlanta, Georgia, and also the University of Clemson as well as spending some time with the Buffalo Bills. He's going to be absolutely deadly on kick returns. But if we cast our minds away from some of the Americans, as you did mention, Odemade, he's had four interceptions this year, 2 of them pick sixes, as well as Idrissa Fofana, who currently, in the regular season anyway, had 9 sacks. And that, I believe, is a Bristol Aztecs record. He's going to be looking to ruin the day for the Manchester Titans as the Bristol Aztecs come out here in their stunning orange kits. You won't be hard of seeing with this exceptionally orange kit, and one that has, I'd argue, split, I'd say not even just British American football, I think American football in general, all around the world, they've got some thoughts about this orange kit.
Absolutely. I think that plenty of people will be able to take notice of the Bristol Aztecs. You won't miss them if they are doing an old school leafleting in Bristol town centre, will you? But yeah, as you mentioned, some incredible players, both, you know, obviously you have the American contingent for Bristol Aztecs that are phenomenally talented and you know, are probably passing on great levels of knowledge to their, you know, teammates that are up and coming. But you also have that contingent of the Aztecs that are, you know, truly formidable British guys. You know, AJ Carr, for example, the receiver, I'd fully expect him to have the ball in his hands as very, very regular today. And we've already mentioned people like Emmanuel Bauer. So truly, you know, a stacked Bristol side, but I suppose there's only 11 men on the field at any given time, and it will be down to the Titans to deal with all the different weapons that they have, as well as trying to scheme up ways to defeat what's, you know, good offensive and defensive schemes, really.
I think another key part of the Bristol Aztecs attack that is missing is Spencer Cutler, their kicker, is out injured. And I think, you know, if this game is going to be as close as we think it is, that could play a vital part in potentially a Titans win.
Absolutely. And I think that if we go over I think we're about to get the Titans entrance.
Go and press the button again for me, please. Don, can you press the button? Press and hold. can you run down, please? Run down and just press the button. Press the button. Can you get me Bristol's roster up, please?
And the Titans are out in the field. The starters for the offense are about to come out. That's Manny Eze, number 88. We've got Mikey Thompson, number 73. Got Connor Greenhalgh, number 11. Owen Smith trotting out, followed by Andy Jones, number 65. Scott Tomlinson. Out comes Nathan Dukes. Tom Worrell follows him up. Receiver Sam Penfold, number 10. And Charlie Martin, quarterback, to round out the Titans' starting offense coming to the field. So, I asked Tebbs before this if he could give me some of his keys to the game. So, we'll go over Tebbs' keys to the game.
So for me, it's the Manchester Titans here. They are the underdogs, and it's a rare situation for them to come into, realistically, not just a semi-final against the Aztecs, but any game as the underdog. QB protection service, the Bristol Aztecs defense can penetrate that line. They can really make it a long day out for quarterbacks, but the O-line of the Manchester Titans is very well regarded, and they're going to have to be on their toes today. And lastly, for the Titans, stop Air Gretzinger. We know that Ethan Gretzinger can throw this ball, and he's got a multitude of receivers who are ready to catch it. So either disrupt Gretzinger, get him out of the pocket, make him scramble, make him worry, or you've got to be absolutely perfect in the secondary. The Bristol Aztecs, they are looking to try and claim their first Britbowl championship. They're hungry for it, but they've got to face the Manchester Titans. They're not facing the London Warriors yet, and I'm sure after that draw a few weeks ago, the Warriors are still on their mind. Adjust the adjustables. Don't get overwhelmed here, because you don't want to be going into this game expecting the Manchester Titans to be playing the same Manchester Titans football as we have the captains coming out. And lastly, they just need to play their brand of football. Dominate in every part of it. Offense, defense, and do not let the Titans get the upper hand, or they will be taking a long, long journey back to Bristol, and their season will potentially be over.
Absolutely. As we see the captains come out to meet each other, for the Manchester Titans, we've got Alex Lenkowski, number 17, Scott Tomlinson, number 56, Nathan Dukes, number 12, and number 99, Charlie Dixon. I'll try and make sure I have a look at those numbers for the Bristol Aztecs. I know definitely at number 66, we have Tom Levick, long-time player, really a fantastic leader and captain for the Bristol Aztecs. Had a pretty nasty injury not too long ago and has rehabbed his way back, worked his way back, and is really the key probably piece to that offensive line in the middle for Bristol. So yeah, phenomenal player on the line there. We've got Forner, Idrissa Forner, number 53, is one of the other captains. That man Eddie Omanade, and Will Bunce rounds up the last of the captains. I think we've just about got time to go through my keys to the game. So for me, my keys to the game: Manchester need to control the line of scrimmage. This Bristol Aztecs offensive and defensive line are truly impressive players. You know, Forner has led the Bristol Aztecs for sacks. I think I could be right in saying that I think he might have broken their record all-time sacks. And the offensive line for Bristol is truly dominant. Manchester's offensive line is good. Have they been as consistent as they've needed to be to win a championship? I'm not sure about that at this point. And the defensive line for the Titans has not really faced the challenge so far that they found so difficult to deal with, but this Bristol Aztecs could present that challenge. Manchester also are going to have to limit Gretzinger. Whether he's running the ball or passing it, he is truly a force to be dealt with. I'm not sure that the Titans have dealt with a quarterback of his level. Well, certainly not this year. And the Titans need to find some consistency on offense. They've really struggled to move the ball consistently. We have these huge heaves downfield, and we get the dink and dunk. But I wouldn't say that the Titans have had a truly consistent offensive attack all season. Very quickly before we get the kickoff, Bristol's keys to the game for me: utilise that variety of offensive weapons. We don't have to focus exclusively on AJ Carr or Emmanuel Bauer. Whichever player is the hot hand today, whichever player is getting the matchup that the Bristol like, Bristol need to take that matchup. Bristol are going to have to cause Charlie Martin quarterback to panic. And finally, I don't see any reason why Bristol can't run the ball until it fails. You don't need to pass the ball 20 times this game if the running game is working. So stick to that plan and force the Titans to step up in the run game. I think we're just about ready for the opening kickoff here. It seems to be a slight delay between the official and the kicker number 85, which looks like it's Ollie Luck.
Ollie Luck, who is, one of the Cardiff Cobras who really impressed me last year. Him and Sam Harvey, they've made a very, very formidable connection. Kicking, I'm unsure of his skills at, but I can tell you what, he's a hell of a player for a very game Cardiff Cobra side in the Premiership last year.
Someone's got to step up with Spencer Cutler now. Picked up an injury not too long ago and unfortunately couldn't be ready in time for this game. Spencer's really a useful player. He's started at wide receiver, at DB, at kicker, punter, all for Bristol. And so they'll feel that loss, but we'll see here if Ollie Luck can provide the leg that they need.
So we're going to get ready for this semi-final matchup with just puts to ball, and we are going to be live. Big kick there by Luck. Oh, great kick by Luck. He's going to the left-hand side, gone up the middle. I mean, great job from the orange jerseys.
Ball fielded by Sam Penfold. Perhaps entered his own end zone to field that ball. Brought it out to about the 15-yard line. I'm not sure if I would have just let that ball roll into the end zone and taken the field position, but I suppose, that aggression in such a big game, you take those risks and hope that a reward pays off.
I mean, when you look at the differences here, the Aztecs have allowed 724 rushing yards all season long. They're going to be looking to keep that nice and short. Josh Ricketts was the first man to get there. But the rest of the Aztecs come in and clean up. That's going to be a gain of... I tell you, that's a better gain than I thought it was from up here. That looks to be a gain of 6 on the first play for the Manchester Titans.
Yeah, Bissy Ryu with a good carry there. Brought it up the middle, made one man miss. And Titans will be very happy with that kind of yardage every first down.
You can see Fofana there on the corner. He's going to try and make some hassle, but he gets big blocked. And Josh Ricketts flying in there to help out his teammate. I wish that number 27 was in my sheet.
Yeah, no 27 on this roster.
And I imagine that is because they're trying to get the most use out of these orange jerseys as possible. So, 3rd and 7 for the Titans. Can the Aztecs keep this going? Going to fire it over the middle. What a great ball that was. He gets round one. Gets round another. Can he have the angle? He's going to go out of bounds. No, he's not going to go out of bounds. And it's a touchdown for the Titans already. That was looking absolutely perfect first drive for the Aztecs, but they are going to be shocked and awed by Manchester.
The ball from Martin could not have been better. Timing, location, straight over the head of the dropping linebacker, in, down, underneath the safety. Penfold breaks 2 tackles, one of them being that incredible DB, Eddie Onamnade, all the way, tiptoe down the sideline for a touchdown. Unbelievable start for the Titans there.
I mean, for me, I thought that he was absolutely tiptoeing. I'm sure there were less than inches, less than centimetres, less than millimetres from him being out of bounds. Tricked me, and the Aztecs right now have got to be feeling absolutely terrible.
Yeah, when you get a big play like that early on, I think there's 2 types of response, really. There's the, oh God, maybe this isn't what we signed up for. Maybe we're in a bit of a battle here we didn't expect. Or, Bristol might have that mentality. They might have that mental fortitude to be able to say, you know what, it was one big play. It was a fluke. We won't let it happen again. But Manchester will be reeling from that. Martin will be feeling exceptional about that pass. His first playoff touchdown as a Manchester Titan.
I mean, it's easy to say after a team has had, either 3 to 4 hours of travel. They come into this game slow. But, I mean, there was multiple opportunities for the Aztecs to be able to prevent the Titans from scoring there, but just could not get it done. And right now, I mean, we've had one series, and it's already looking like the Titans are going to upset the Aztecs.
Danger men back to return. We've got Darius St. Robinson and AJ Carr. AJ Carr in number 7. AJ may be small in stature, but I urge you to watch him play today. He is truly an impressive young British player who will probably be taking part in the 2028 Flag Olympics soon. Ball goes to Carr.
Bit of a low kick here. No receiving touchdowns on the year for Carr yet, but I mean, he's got some space around the outside, but he's going to be just slammed down near the 40-yard line.
Solid return, really good blocking set up from the Aztecs as we take a look at the Aztecs offense for the first time here. That offensive line, truly impressive.
For me, this drive, the Aztecs need to not be overexcited and go, we need to respond right away to that big score. Again, back to my keys, they've got to play their own football. You're down 7, that's okay. That was a mistake. Forget about it and just play your own football. Don't immediately try a Hale Gretzinger. But let's see what they do here. So it goes to the left-hand side. And I mean, great job from the Titans there.
Yeah, ball straight out to AJ Carr. He's a guy who you want having 10-plus touches of the football a game. So he's had 2 so far, 1 as returner and 1 as receiver. And I think you're right. Ultimately, and a screen pass like that we've just seen to Carr, you can kind of count it as a bit of a run. They're not, trying to attack downfield too much. But one of my keys to the game for the Bristol Aztecs offense is really to run the ball until Manchester force you to pass. So,
well, I mean, when they line up in an empty set, they're taking your keys, and then he's not looking at them. So Gretzinger once again fires a quick strike out to the left-hand side. Lots of spinning going on there, and I think it's going to be just short of a first down, but that's from my view up here. We may even have to get the old measuring stick out. No, it is going to be a first down.
Yeah, St. Robinson on the catch there, the other return man. So, keys to the game for me, we're running the ball, and we've had 2 passes so far. So, perhaps I'll have a half-time chat with the Bristol Aztecs.
The 2 plays to the outside. And the Aztecs are a team that we know that they've got tricks up their sleeve. And it wouldn't surprise me if we see a few of them get rattled off here today.
Absolutely. This is playoff football, and you can't really leave anything on the table.
Gretzinger scrambles out there, and I thought that was going to be a spectacular catch, but Titans say, no.
Great breakup by Jack Mayfield there, the safety, one of the Titans' leading interceptors of the football this season.
And we've spoken about Darius St. Robinson, Petrie and Gretzinger, but Noah Clack, another American playing for this Aztec side, he has been good for them, but only 1 touchdown and 123 yards on 10 catches this season receiving for Clack.
As we see Sean Cook in the backfield here. is used predominantly as a blocker and is very good at doing so. But you will see Sean carry the football occasionally today as he rumbles, bumbles, stumbles his way down the pitch. We'll see a lot of different formations from the Aztecs as well, challenging and stressing that Titans defense.
And Belle, the running back, getting them to a 3rd and 2. I mean, he averages 6.5 yards a carry, and I mean, that's spectacular, no matter how you cut it. They only need 2 here for a first down for the Aztecs. Gretzinger once again fires to Carr. He's going to have it, and enough for a first down. And to be fair, this drive, I'm very, very happy with the Aztecs, if I'm completely honest. Obviously, they've still got some space to go for a touchdown, but they're not getting overexcited, or they're not having an emergency response to that touchdown from the Titans.
No, very calm response from Gretzinger, as you would probably expect from a veteran of his caliber and experience. And he's just, I'm going to use one of my favourite mic'd up from the NFL moments here, matriculating the ball down the field.
Oh, I love saying that. So pumps once. Oh, wide open. Absolutely sensational. He's going to be tackled down there, but, I mean, Gretzinger had the vision.
Harry Buckland on the catch there with a little screen and go, which is a Titans staple, really. So you'd think that this Titans defense would be very used to seeing that, but Josh Belle comes down and bites on the fake screen, and we get Harry Buckland over the top.
I do feel as though that's very much the Aztecs turning around and saying, hey, we got trick plays for you, and it looks as though our people with our first down markers, our lovely chain crew, they decided to take a little bit of a break when the Aztecs can still get a first down without getting a touchdown. So Belle next to Gretzinger. Trying to draw the Titans offside. Lots of clapping. Round of applause here from Gretzinger. He's going to have it. Goes to Belle on the counter. That brought down for a loss. I'd say a loss of 3. Can I guess that right? Yeah.
Number 94, Cade Makin, coming up and making the tackle in the backfield. That GB stalwart. Titans bring up a 2nd and long. See what offensive coordinator Rian Hudson dials up here.
And it's going to be interesting for me, if this gets to a 4th down situation, are the Aztecs going to have luck to try and kick it, or are they just going to be going 4th down all day long? I mean,
I suppose that would depend on their confidence.
Gretzinger gets it out, evades one, but once again, the Titans bring down, I'm going to say after a gain of 6, so I'm going to say maybe a 3rd and 3rd and 8. I was going to say 3rd and 7. Unbelievable.
Yeah, Titans will be happy with this situation based on what happened with the fake screen. They'll be happy to be presented with this situation. And I think that depending on the confidence levels that Bristol have in their replacement kicker, I think that it would be wise to go for the 3 in a game like this.
So 3rd and 8. Clack and Carr have been the 2 receivers Gretzinger has been targeting. Gretzinger is going to scrounge to the right-hand side. There's certainly some space for Gretzinger. He's got the speed, and it's going to be a touchdown for the Bristol Aztecs.
Yeah, man coverage on the goal line from the Titans DBs. We just see them fly off the screen, and a hole opens up for Gretzinger. Nice and easy. A day in the park, goes in for 6.
And that is going to make his 5th touchdown of the season so far. I mean, he's averaging 7.7 yards per rush, but I mean, I imagine he probably doesn't want to rush that much. But I mean, we have now got an answer to our question. They are going to be kicking it with luck. And it is good, and I mean, that's a very barefoot kicker sort of kick, just a toe punt straight through. Nothing spectacular about that from luck, but we're tied.
Luck or talent, you decide. Yeah, great opening drive from Bristol. Truly dink and dunk the ball down the field. only one play over sort of 15, 20 yards, but genuinely textbook drive, exactly what you could hope to do. And from an offensive standpoint, from a quarterback standpoint, yeah, you love the big plays. You want to take the big shot, and you want to have that really impressive feature for everybody to watch and see how impressive your arm is. But honestly, as a quarterback, there's nothing more that I love than dinking and dunking the ball down the field and the defense not having an answer for you, because I know you can see the frustration on the defensive players when they don't have an answer. So fantastic first drive for Bristol, and Manchester are going to have to find a way to essentially deal with all those different weapons and aspects of getting the ball out.
And this is why I'm so happy that I'm doing commentary with you here today, because normally I just have to give a centre's point of view or a D tackle's point of view. I like having a quarterback's point of view on things.
Yes, yeah, I thought Penfold. Thought we were at risk of Penfold perhaps catching the ball outside of the end zone and taking a knee there, but no, it is for a touchback. Yeah, I think that having played, quarterback for the past sort of 8 years, at this level, I like to have that perspective, and I like to look at it from that perspective. But also, I started my career playing mostly defense, so I have the benefit of being able to look at it from a defensive perspective as well.
What position did you start with?
Oh gosh, the only position I've not played is kicker and offensive line, believe it or not. But I started as a linebacker, running back.
Say, it's going to sound like an insult, but offensive line, row. I thought
I'd be a phenomenal guard. I'd be an excellent guard.
I mean, great there from the Aztecs, just penetrating the line. Not going to result in a tackle for loss for the Titans, but just straight through. Have I spoken too soon about the tackle? No, I'm
back to the line. It looks like. Sticking with that two running backs in the backfield set with Hafiz Bisiriyu and Nathan Jukes.
So going to the right-hand side there. Once again, the Aztecs, I mean, I feel as though now you can definitely say that the Aztecs, they're switched on. They're not going to try and let that happen again, but I mean, they're now in a situation where Martin's going to have to try and sling that ball. But can the Aztecs secondary make a tackle if the catch is made? Well, that's certainly what I expect here anyway.
Yeah, and I think the Titans have had a lot of success with Bisiriyu around the edge, but the defenders for the Aztecs clearly on the edge showing their skill here. That might not be an option available to the Titans in this game.
Bit of a high snap. Ryan's got, he's going to roll out to his side, and he's going to fire it out of bounds. Maybe distracted by those, hypnotised by those orange jerseys.
Undoubtedly.
And just
good
launched
coverage.
It. The worst part is that I'm getting lost. I can't see the down markers next to the Bristol Aztecs kits. It's the same colour. It just looks like a very tall Bristol Aztec.
It does. It does. Yeah, good defensive drive for the Aztecs there. Not really giving the Titans a whole lot. As we see AJ Carr back to return the Alex Lenkowski punt.
Good snap. Oh, and it is blocked. Aztecs get a hand to it. That ball is bouncing around. Just dive upon it. And they're saying that the Titans are going to give themselves a fresh set of downs. There are lots of Aztecs just bouncing near the ball. Did it touch any? We're going to have a conversation.
I think it might have been I thought it was 34 initially, but I think it might have been 84. Tom Bowering, who got the punt block. I think it was Tom Bowering. Tom Bowering, member of the GB squad. GB squad is, I think, a receiver. Gives the Bristol Aztecs fantastic field position here. Depending on the leg of luck, I'll trademark that. Potentially field goal range already here.
I mean, we can definitely see some of the Manchester Titans just below us having a conversation with that referee saying, hey, we think this is our ball, but the Zebras today are saying absolutely not. It's going to be Aztecs football in great field position.
Empty formation again.
I mean, the Aztecs love to be tricky, trying to draw the Titans offside, but too disciplined for that. It's going to be straight up the middle and a great burst of speed, but brought down
Yeah, strong running there from Joey Ampoma.
And again,
Another University of Cardiff.
Again, another University of Cardiff. There's a lot. I mean, even their head coach, Sean Vaughan, is a Bristol Aztec, and he's managed to bring some of his key players with him, including David Sharimwar as well. Hopefully we can talk about him at some point, but as it stands right now, it's a 2nd and 4 for the Aztecs. They're moving a lot of their people around. They're trying to draw the Titans offside. It's going to be another run play. And Poma's got it again, and that's going to be enough for a first down. And this is, I feel like this is one of the things that divides good teams and bad teams, is when your running back makes that first point of contact, the rest of the team run straight up to him and start pushing him. There'll be, I mean, I've seen it, I'm sure you've seen it as well, that there are some teams that just, they'll have their linemen that just stand around and go, that's really cool, but they don't come in and help push their running back.
Yeah, and I think that it's mostly this is mostly a defensive mentality, but I've heard lots of good coaches say your value to this team is your proximity to the ball at the end of the play. And for offensive line, that is arguably more true than for anyone on defense.
Yeah. So fresh to the downs here. Gretzky's going to roll out to his right-hand side. There is some space. He's going to try and get someone open. I believe some referees' hats have come off. So it looks like we do have a Titan down as well.
Looks like Jerome Darko.
And Poma this year, 47 carries for 294 yards and 5 touchdowns. You know, it does seem as though like you're sort of hypnotized by the passing attack of the Aztecs. You don't understand that they've got a hard-nosed running game as well.
Fantastic run game, and the offensive line really leading the way for that. Guys like Tom Levick, Will Bunce, Dave Pemberton. Genuinely impressive. A lot of GB talent there, and just the depth of the Bristol Aztecs team really is probably what's most impressive to me. You know, we're talking about all these players, but there's only a selection of these offensive players actually on the field for Bristol at one time. They can cycle through, bring on new, fresh players, not just fresh legs, but genuinely, truly talented players who can come on completely fresh.
And I think that within this game there is a level of a battle of attrition here. I mean, the Aztecs, their seasons, they've played 13 games, while you've got the Manchester Titans only playing 7. I mean, that's including their games against the Aztecs teams against Amsterdam and Karlstad, 2, very, very tough opponents. But are they battle tested or are they worn out? That is the question. And I mean, a great run there. Just going shoulder first in there. And there is a flag on the opposite side of the field. And I know we're only in the first quarter, but I mean, I'm pretty content with how little flags have been thrown.
Yeah, I think that whenever you have a game at this level, Premiership Semi Final, you're really hoping that the referees aren't a factor at all. Both these teams should be disciplined enough to, not have a load of holding penalties, not have a load of formation penalties. And, I understand that tempers fly and you may end up with the occasional forgivable or unforgivable personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct, etc. Because, there's a lot on the line here. These players understand that if they lose this game today, their season's going to end. But, yeah, the less we see of those bright yellow flags, the better. More bright orange kit instead.
You get lost. You get lost in the citrus colour scheme of the Bristol Aztecs. So, 2nd and 15. Gretzky's going to take a big drop back, but he's going to find some space to the left-hand side. Holding call, I assume, is going to be on the Aztecs. I mean, the referee saw it pretty blatantly. He did call it, I would say not slowly, but I think that is going to be on Ali Trafford, number 61 of the Aztecs. And I think even Ali knows that that's going to be on him as well.
I think if there's one thing that I've learned through my years of being a coach and battling with the fantastic officials of BAFRA throughout the years, is that there is no such thing as a late flag. No such thing as a late flag.
So that is so just as we start talking about how we're impressed with the lack of flags in this game, the Bristol Aztecs draw 2 in a row, and they're now going to be facing a long old one here. I mean, if you want to try out the leg of luck, I mean, I mean, this may be the opportunities, obviously not on second down, but they've got a long way to go before they get to the 12-yard line and a fresh set of downs for the Aztecs.
Gretzinger shouldn't panic here. Try and give himself a shorter third down to manage.
Gretzinger just scrambling around trying to find something, and he's not going to find anything.
Abdul Madugu forcing him out of bounds there to bring up that long third down. Interestingly, we've seen a good few passes or pass attempts from Gretzinger so far, and we have seen him scramble around and roll around, which would suggest to me either one of two things: the receivers aren't getting open early enough for Gretzinger to feel confident putting that ball in, or the Titans' box is getting so much pressure quickly that Gretzinger's having to roll out and try to stay alive.
I mean, thankfully I was at that Warriors game that the Aztecs drew 24-24, and I mean, there was a lot of pressure on Gretzinger. He managed to make these miraculous passes that are just not opening up for the Aztecs today. 3rd and 24. Can we have some air, Gretzinger? He's going to try. He's looking for Darius St. Robinson. St. Robinson's calling for a DPI, but he is not going to get one.
I'm surprised, honestly, that there's no pass interference on that play. I'm not so confident that safety James Williams didn't make an attempt for the ball, let's say. But alas, 4th and long. What do we do here?
It's how many DPIs have you seen that are called in earnest? Sometimes called too soon, sometimes not called at all. And this is just the way that the cookie has crumbled here for the Aztecs. 7-7. That blocked punt could potentially result in 0 points for the Aztecs, which, let's be honest, that's a Titans win and an Aztecs loss.
Absolutely, and it looks as though Gretzinger, before this penalty, was going to come out and run. I think the officials didn't
delay
quite...
a game for the Aztecs. And again, we have commentators curse the Aztecs here.
Of the commentators.
Because that is now going to send the Aztecs back even further. And this is where it's going to be interesting. Are they going to keep Gretzinger out there? It looks like head coach Pete Jones is going to be keeping Ethan Gretzinger and his offense out there, despite the fact that they are going to be starting from their own 40. On the Titans 40.
There's only two things to do here. One of them is either an air punt with Gretzinger's arm, see if he can, get in the end zone, which it looks like it will be.
Big drop back and an absolute missile. Oh my Lord! Touchdown Aztecs! I cannot fathom that. That ball looks borderline uncatchable. Harry Buckland is going to bring it in for Bristol. That was absolute fingertips on that ball. I mean, he must do rock climbing or some other sport like that to be able to have that tensile finger strength to be able to bring that in.
Buckland has certainly not had any chicken today for his greasy hands. He's tacked up his gloves, brand new gloves, no doubt in my mind. He's brought that ball in, fingertips. And honestly, Buckland was in space. There were no Titans defenders anywhere near. So he's come straight up that middle, up the seam, and the Titans have just missed him. And Buckland looks tall. So I'm not sure how such a large, prominent man has managed to escape the Titans' attention there. But another Titans must be devastated.
I mean, what was that?
Fourth and about 24, 25.
4th and 24 after the Aztecs take a delay of game penalty as well on top of that. That was looking like it was going to be slam dunk for the Titans. Big victory for them. And I mean, within that drive, I'd say the Titans definitely snatched defeat from the jaws of victory there.
Yeah, just goes to show that the arm of Gretzinger is impressive, and that on a 4th and 25, 4th and 30, who cares? 4th and 40, who cares? Gretzinger can get the ball there if the space is available. So Titans have got a cliche here, tighten up.
I mean, it almost feels like that play and the first touchdown for the Titans, very much in the same vein, that it was just a mistake that, both of these teams don't really tend to make too often. But as it stands right now, the Aztecs are up a big head of speed. They're bumping into his own man there.
Yeah, James Williams on the return, former East Kilbride Pirate, current GB defensive back. Brings the ball out to right about the 23-yard line. So Titans realistically have to respond here because we know that Manchester haven't stopped Bristol offensively so far, which sounds ludicrous to say considering that the distance on that fourth down, but you know, the scoreline tells us exactly what we need to know.
So Titans sending a man in motion across. Aztecs are just going to be a run play. Looks like the Aztecs are going to have him. Josh Ricketts right there. I've waited all season long to do this. The abominable Joshua Ricketts. I've not managed to say that this season. Is going to be the first one there. He's third in tackles for the Aztecs this year. And I mean, he was a great player when he was at the University of Gloucestershire. I spent, you know, my final uni ball season, touchwood, with him there. And I mean, an absolute phenom, and he's continued that onto the Bristol Aztecs side as he's risen up the depth chart for them. So drop back. I mean, there's an escape valve on the left-hand side.
Forner in pursuit.
And brought down. I mean, that is why he is an absolute force for this Aztecs side. I mean, realistically, for me, it was only a matter of time. And that is going to be a large tackle for loss. 3rd and 12 now for the Titans. There's some late substitutions here from the Aztecs. I mean, there's some defensive issues going on here. But they're still going to run the play. Gets it through the middle. Don't think that's going to be enough for a first down.
Great job of stepping up there. I was going to say on the previous play where Martin escaped to his left out of the pocket, that plays into Idrissa Forner's hands, really. He's got the speed, he's got the athleticism to come from the bottom of the screen all the way and chase Martin towards the sideline. Martin needs to step up into the pocket a little bit more. As long as he's not getting that interior pressure, he can step up into the pocket and hit players like Brad Temple, just like he did there. Unfortunately for Martin, Temple just a little bit short of the first down, but if Martin can step up into the pocket, he's going to potentially negate a little bit of the pressure he's getting from Idrissa Forner.
And it looks to me that it's going to be Darius St. Robinson back to return this one.
Got a flag up by St. Robinson here. Could be a substitution error.
I mean, if this is on the Aztecs, could be a free first down for the Titans. Delay a game. So delay a game for the Titans. They're going to change this 4th and 1 to a 4th and 6. I mean, in shorter yardage field situations, you could say they've created themselves more space, but I don't imagine that was probably what they were going for.
No, I can't imagine that known calm guru Alex Lenkowski is too pleased about a delay of game penalty.
So one punt was blocked. That's going to take a high ball. St. Robinson is going to settle under it. Flags come in.
Yeah, that is Johnny O'Marl hitting the returner before he had an opportunity to get to the ball. Now, I don't think that St. Robinson waved for a fair catch, but when he doesn't have an opportunity to field the ball, it doesn't matter. He has to have that opportunity.
I mean, that was a mistake that I'm sure the Titans would like to get off here, and that's going to put the Aztecs. I mean, they were going to be starting into their own. They were going to start in their own territory, not by a whole lot, but this is going to start them in Titans territory. We saw. I mean, they were around this area last time after that blocked punt. We saw. I mean, we saw the Titans get them to a 4th and 24. But I mean, you're absolutely right. The Titans need to prove, I'd say, not just to themselves, but to, I mean, everyone watching, that they can stop the Aztecs' offense. And another run into the left-hand side.
Yeah, good success on the first down run there, and that, you know, it's difficult to say that the Aztecs shouldn't be passing the ball because they had that huge touchdown on a passing play. Gretzinger scored his touchdown on what was a botched pass play. You know, he scrambled out the pocket and scored. But ultimately, you know, you have an incredibly talented run-blocking offensive line. Sean Cook in the backfield is a phenomenal blocker. And you have Emmanuel Bauer, amongst other talented running backs. I would be really curious to just see if they can get the ball rolling on the ground here.
Continuing to click, I believe that is Cook in motion. He's going to be going into that blocking position. Watch him get the ball now. No, so he's going to go in for the block there. Once again, just powering it forward. And we get to say that lovely word again, matriculating the ball down the field.
Great patience from Bauer there behind the offensive line. Reminds me somewhat of one of my favourite NFL running backs, Le'Veon Bell. Really patient behind his offensive line, waits for the holes to open and just bursts through.
And it's such a shame because I saw a report today that he felt bad that he held out on the Steelers for that one season and then went to the Jets. And no one wants to go to the Jets.
I'm sure that Le'Veon Bell feels really bad about how his career ended up, but he had a really good run. He was really, really impressive. So
Gretzinger is going to be looking to fire this
there
one.
He is.
Straight in the middle, and that is... Oh, he's going to be absolutely beating himself up about that one.
Number 86, Josh Petrie.
Again, Josh Petrie is, I'd say, one of my favourite players on this Aztec team, as it looks like we've reached the end of Q1, and a drop like that does not happen very much for Josh Petrie. He is one of these players that can come in, can make a big impact, but I mean, normally what happens here, Josh Petrie will drop a ball, but then I'd say 2 plays, Petrie's in the end zone. Petrie has scored for the Aztecs.
Oh, they'll come back to him because that play that they just ran there where Petrie, you know, had the drop, unfortunately, that was very similar, if not the same, as the one that they scored to Harry Buckland just before. Titans currently going with a single high safety, potentially cover 3 or a cover 4. I think that perhaps if Bristol aren't running the ball so aggressively and are actually having more success with these deep shots, you may end up needing to drop one of these safeties into a deep half or a deep quarter and show that earlier, because James Williams really was not too far off being beaten on that play as well. Sean Cook split out wide here. We have seen quite a bit of motion, so wouldn't be surprised if they motioned him into the box to identify what the coverage is, perhaps, but always exciting to see Sean Cook tight end out wide.
So folks, it gets it into the middle left-hand side.
They call his number immediately following the drop.
Again, it seems as though, if I recall correctly, that did happen in the Aztecs game against the Warriors, in that Petrie had a heartbreaking drop, and then they immediately just fire it back to him. I mean, either keep that confidence up, or even just trying to establish him as a hot hand, which Petrie's very, very adept at rising to the pressure.
Yeah, great vote of confidence from your offensive coordinator, Rian Hudson, and Gretzinger to come straight back to him.
And a toss play out to the right-hand side. And to me, that seems almost strange. I mean, Joey Ampoma on the carry for the Aztecs. That seemed to me to be, a bit of a tempo breaker for the Aztecs. I mean, it's been like hard runs, and bullet passes from Gretzinger, but that toss, I don't know, it didn't seem very Aztecs to me, but that's just from me being up here in the box.
Yeah, and I think that the Titans are clearly not struggling up the middle to stop the run, but the Aztecs are getting consistent yardage. Titans have got a lot of speed, especially on the edge.
Gretzinger fires into the middle once again. And it's going to amount to a nice catch. I believe that was that Petrie again. It certainly was.
Yeah, keep coming back to him. And why not? If he's having success, AJ Carr's come in. And We've got Bauer coming in as well. Third and a long 2, maybe 3.
So I imagine they're definitely going to be motioning someone.
Yeah, AJ Carr, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes in motion here.
No, okay. Gretzinger's going to just try and take it himself, but he's going to be brought down.
Paid making, bringing him down there, perhaps slightly short of the first down.
Oh, let's have a look here. Looks like they're just going to...
Sean Cook is in, who's typically the long snapper for the Bristol side. So they could be going for 3 points here. Can't see whether Gretzinger is still in the game.
Well, I mean, I'd argue if Darren St. Robinson there, yeah, so they are going to be going for it here. I mean, Cook is ready to probably form a gap there. St. Robinson moves the outside. It's going to be straight up the middle, and it looks to me like they are going to have enough for a first down. And I mean, the big orange of the O-line of the Aztecs, I mean, just sort of fooling with their running back there to gain the space.
Yeah, I mean, when you have the offensive line that you do, you know, Ibi Ahmed, you've got David Pemberton, Tom Levick, you've got Sean Cook in the backfield, you know, other names, Will Bunce, Emmanuel Bauer. Don't complicate it. Yeah. On fourth and short, that's a surefire thing. If I'm Bristol here, I see no reason to change my play calls there. In fact, someone new in the backfield, someone I'm not too familiar with. I believe that is
Sean Vaughan, the head coach of the Cardiff Cobras. As flags come in. I mean, it's always good to see Sean Vaughan out there.
On the Titans, Sean Vaughan signals offside. Titans keen to get a stop here, trying to get any advantage they possibly can, but it does actually bring them halfway closer to the goal line than they were previously. But again, if I'm Bristol here, I'm not overcomplicating it. I'm going to run behind this offensive line 4 times. If I can't get 3 yards, there's a big problem.
And I mean, when you've got two, if they're going to be going out in the same formation, that is, they've got 2 big men in the backfield in Cook and Vaughan. So there's a multitude of options that they could potentially go with here, but I imagine it's going to be Sean Vaughan running straight into someone's back to try and get them across that goal line. And it's going to Sean Vaughan. Can he get the touchdown? And it's a touchdown for the Cardiff Cobras head coach. And I tell you what, that was worth me driving 3 hours up to, just so I can see a Sean Vaughan playoff touchdown.
Big man touchdown. Sean Vaughan lines up in the backfield, comes in, lives out his dreams. Puts 6 on the board for the Aztecs, gives the Aztecs some much-needed breathing room in this semi-final. And the Aztecs do exactly what they, in my opinion, need to do, should do. They come in and they drive the ball, run. But bar that, you know, that outside run, but maybe they were just testing it out. Is this available to us? Okay, no, they've got the speed on the edge. Well, why not just run it up the middle 4 or 5 times and just keep chomping away every time?
Let's have a look. And the leg of luck is good. I mean, I really am surprised here because it's not a pretty kick. I can hear his toes. Like, it's not a beautiful soccer kick with the side of the foot. It's just a toe punt straight up and through.
Gets the job done.
I think we fall back to the point that you made, that the Manchester Titans need to prove that they can stop the Aztecs offense even once here, because it's not, for me, 21-7, it's not out of hand. But I think maybe one more score, it starts to get a little bit out of hand.
Absolutely.
They need, we've said about responses, but I mean, I'd say it's pretty critical now for the Titans to get something going on offense. But also, as you've said, cliche as it is, tighten up.
Yeah, I think the fatigue of the Titans compared to the Bristol's ability to bring in fresh talent, and those are 2 separate words I'm using purposely, is potentially going to play a big factor here. So if the Titans don't respond on this offensive and or defensive drive, could be in trouble.
I mean, another great kick from Luck. Big slide there. Going to have that down at either the 19 or the 20.
I think that was Petrie again coming and bringing the special teams pressure. So although he had that early drop, certainly has come in and made up for it, forcing the returner back inside to where the rest of his teammates are. I honestly thought that Penfold should have probably continued his path outside, because he does have the speed that not many can contend with, but decides to take it up the middle. Maybe that's where his blocking was set up for, and brings the ball out to right about the 20-yard line.
Might get another bit of a high snap here, but I mean, it depends on the centres. But I'll make my point in a second once the play is over. I was told that if it's not a high snap, it may look like a high snap on camera, but if you're practicing behind that centre and you expect the ball to be there, then you can't really call it a high snap, because it won't affect the play, because that's where you expect it to be.
No, and typically as a quarterback, and speaking more specifically from the Titans sort of take on it all, especially with centre Scott Tomlinson, if the ball is within a reasonable, head height catching area, as long as the ball isn't absolutely rocketed at you, that's not so much of a problem. It's when you get a fast snap that isn't accurate that is a huge issue.
I mean, I've definitely had some absolute dribblers along the floor. So running to the left-hand side and just being there, no gain by the looks of things.
Yeah, Ryan Davies, number 44, coming from the middle backer spot there. But also what probably less obvious is Eddie Onamade, number 0. He's not been blocked out of the picture there, so he comes down and he contains Bisiriyu, forces him to go back inside right to where Davis is, which gives him no room really.
I mean, Martin having to scramble to the outside. He's going backwards. He's being pursued. And that's going to be incomplete. You see the Aztec sideline. They're giving the classic DB celebration, but
great break up there by Dom Donahue, former wide receiver. I could be wrong here, but I think that Don Donahue is around from this area. I think he potentially played for the Lancashire, the then Chorley Buccaneers, now Lancashire Buccaneers. Went down to SGS, played receiver there for a few years, and has clearly made the switch over to DB. Great coverage there. Brings up 4th down. Flag on the play.
Kicks away. I believe that's AJ Carr back to take it. It certainly is. He's going to be going up to his left-hand side there. Some great no hands blocking, but we do have a flag on the play. It is always spectacular to see, these linebackers. Normally a bigger person will be running past with their hands up in the air just to get in the way and make sure they don't draw a penalty.
Fly-by blocks are something that are a real treat to see. Some of the Titans players signalling that this penalty is on the Bristol Aztecs, but we'll see.
And I mean,
we've been scorned before.
We see head coach of the Aztecs, Pete Jones, having a word with a referee, which is normally indicating that could be saying some loud words. I don't know. Waiting with bated breath here. Oh, he's pointing towards the Titans. Okay. So it looks like the Titans may be re-punting the ball. We still haven't had a specific flag or a specific penalty called here by our refereeing staff. I think we may have one here, so...
Yeah, it looks like Hewitt's going to call.
Okay. So full start by the Aztecs, which means the Titans are going to re-kick it.
Could be false start, could be illegal formation as well.
Yes.
Illegal formation. I think that he might have... Let's see what happens here. Let's see where the officials spot the ball, and we'll have a better idea of what's happened here. We're just looking at our official hand signals printout, and it seems as though the penalty we need is not on the board.
Not on there.
But it looks as though it was on the defense as the Titans have moved to about 4th and 6. We'll get a repunt here.
AJ Carr once again. He had a decent run last time. He's going to get it again, and a great punt. He calls for a fair catch. And I mean, if you're the Titans, you've got to be pretty happy about that. You've managed to push the Aztecs back slightly further than they already were.
Yeah, and ultimately, not giving AJ Carr the chance to return is always a good idea, in my opinion.
I was about to say something that would potentially be me disparaging the cardio of AJ Carr when I realised that would be absolutely ridiculous. Not just because I'm a centre-turn commentator and I don't do much moving apart from my lips, but also because he's just a fantastic athlete. So empty for the Aztecs again.
Sean Cook in the slot.
I'm sure he will be.
For the Sean Cook fans at home.
Yeah, what a surprise. Oh, no, actually. Maybe another run play, Sean Cook. I mean, his blocking is really, I mean, he is the key. And I mean that both in a metaphorical sense as well. He's opening the door for these big runs for the Aztecs, which is, putting them in the position to be able to gain, as we see, hold on a second, they're moving it back, gain 7 yards on the play. Like, I'd even argue, and this may be blasphemous, that if you get 7 yards on a run play, that's not matriculating the ball down the field.
No, they're big gains. If you're getting 7 yards each time you run the ball, that is ridiculous numbers. But
so Gretzinger gets it out. I believe that is Bauer who's got it. He's going to have enough for a first down, and he's going to have it by about 4, I'm going to say.
Yeah, just returning to that Sean Cook conversation, and I mean this with the most respect. Sean can receive the ball, Sean can run the ball, but really where Sean is at his best is as a blocker. I don't want to call him a lineman in the backfield, but he has the size, he has the power, he has the agility of a really athletic offensive lineman that you can have that flexibility with. And when he's coming up the middle on ISO blocks and taking out your middle linebacker, the running back is untouched until he reaches 5 yards, really. So
it looks like Gretzinger may have changed the play, or something he did or did not like. And I mean, if he did change it, he changed it into a play that didn't work.
Charlie Martin gets the penetration there and brings Bauer down in the backfield for a gain of about 1.
I mean, I know that we've been, we spent the last few minutes talking about Sean Cook, and I mean, it's easy to see with his basically his ability to master key through defenses why Bauer and Poma both come into this game with 5 touchdowns apiece.
And I think that says a lot about the variety of the weapons that Bristol can utilise. If we look at the receivers that are out there right now, all of them in their own right could be extremely dominant.
So Gretzky's going to roll out to his right-hand side. He's going to fire it. What a grab that was.
Jack Mayfield in coverage, and Noah Clack brings that ball in. The ball from Gretzinger could not have been in a better position. Mayfield in a trailing position doesn't have the time or the ability to turn around because he's in a pursuit. And Clack with late hands brings it in. beautiful pass and catch on the combo.
I think what's interesting about this is Noah Clack coming into this game only had 10 catches on the year, 123 yards, but he's seeming to be one of those hot hands that we discussed when we were discussing our keys to victory, that Clack, he seems to be the man that Gretzinger wants to find. I believe that's Ampoma, and he is straight through, and I mean, a great late tackle there.
Yeah, that is Josh Fagan on the tackle there. Comes up with a touchdown saving tackle.
And it looks as though...
As we have a flag.
Flag on the play there. It looks as though...
Ben Griffiths called that interesting timing for when that was called. I would expect, honestly, at this point.
It looks as though, given that Sean Cook is motioning something, it could maybe...
I think it's a substitution infraction. Yeah. I think I saw referee Hewitt in the white cap put his hand across to his opposite shoulder, which would indicate to me that there was some kind of substitution issue. But I'm unsure about.
Doesn't look like the ball has gone back. The Aztecs starting to line up there. It seemed to me that the Aztecs were trying to go a bit faster to the line of scrimmage on that play, which may have resulted in this. But they're going to be going...
That familiar formation again.
From the 9-yard line. Going to be another hand up. Is that Ampoma again?
If it ain't broke.
So not enough for a touchdown for the University of Cardiff Cobra.
So we see here just 2 offensive linemen substituting in there. Just goes to show the depth and the talent within this Bristol squad, that they can filter through off different offensive line when most of the rest of the UK is struggling for offensive line in general, never mind, extreme talent.
But this is what I think you're absolutely right about, is they're not just filtering it out and it's, okay, we're going to target this lineman who just came in. You can target that lineman who just came in. Flags come in. And that is going to be on the Aztecs. They're going to make this slightly harder for themselves. I imagine they will be starting back at the 8 instead of at the 3.
Based off what we've seen so far, you would still expect this shouldn't be a huge problem for the Aztecs, as Titans have, made stops here and there, but have been unable so far to keep them out the end zone. See that same formation again.
Oh, as the back, Robinson coming across. And Cook once again lead blocking, but it looks like the Titans are going to have him. And I believe that is number 32.
And that's Josh Fagan again.
Number 90.
Number 90 is...
Number 98. Is it number 98?
David Annie.
One of those threats that you spoke about earlier in the game. He's going to be able to prevent a Bristol touchdown for now. And the Aztecs are going to be going from the Titans' 11-yard line. So going from the 3 back to the 8 and now at the 11.
If you're the Aztecs here, Tebs, and you get stopped on 3rd down for no gain, are you going for it on 4th down?
Personally, I would. There's no reason why they wouldn't. And just a shovel pass play out. It's not going to be enough for a touchdown, but a thing of beauty from Gretzinger.
Little flick of the wrist, underhand throw, or, a little pop out. Really smart from Gretzinger. Lure the defender in, pop the ball out, and then it's down to James Williams to make a touchdown saving tackle. On this occasion, he does, as we see a new back come in. Is it? Yeah, I think it's Ampoma again. And I wouldn't be shocked to see Sean Cook in the backfield, Ampoma behind Gretzinger. And we just see that same read option from Gretzinger. He's not kept it so far, but why would you when Ampoma's running the ball with the efficiency that he is.
And from the 2-yard line, and it looks like the flag coming in.
Now, if this is a delay of game,
It is going to be another delay of game.
that changes your mentality as an offensive play caller. As we see the lucky leg come in, looks like they're going to go for a field goal here. Now, if Spencer Cutland was here, this would most certainly be something tricky. Maybe a drop goal, Spencer. I'm sure you're listening at home. I hope you're feeling better, mate. And we'll see if the leg of luck can get it done. Spencer is on the sideline. So, Spencer, when you watch this back later, you can thank me for your personal shout out.
So Luck gets it away. And it is no good. So 21-7. Keeps up the score. And one thing that I did find surprising when, looking through the stats of the Bristol Aztecs, they seem to be, really, really great in everything other than field goals. Coming into this game, 10 tries, only converting 4.
And that will certainly affect the confidence of both Luck and the coaches in their desire to call those. If the Titans are able to score here and bring this game to a 1-score game, the Aztecs might have to think twice about whether it's more realistic for them to kick a short field goal or to go for it on 4th down.
The Aztecs defense haven't allowed much from the Titans apart from that big first breakaway play. And you can see there, it's going to be a gain of, I'm going to say, 3 for the Titans. And this D-line has been absolutely crushing.
Titans trying to go quick here. They bring Alex Baldry into the backfield.
He'll be faking the handoff. Martin throws it. There is some space there. Oh my word! It's going to be another spectacular play for the Manchester Titans. Absolutely amazing. Sam Penfold bringing it to a 1-score game. And you know what? I know it's cliche, but I think we may have a game on our hands.
How exciting to watch. I know that it's just one big play, but Sam Penfold sauntering off the pitch. And there was a lot of noise. I don't know if you follow the Playmaker Alley YouTube accounts and Instagram accounts but this week, it's the Coventry Phoenix, also one of the Bristol Aztecs coaches and one of the London Warriors players, Jamal. They get together, they have a talk about what's going on in Britbowl at the minute. There's a lot of talk about Sam Penfold and what he's managed to do this year. That's his 2nd long touchdown, and they just managed to get over the head of the defender. I thought, honestly, that Manny Aze was going to try and get the ball at first. That ball from Martin on a play action as well, stepped perfectly into the throw. Really, really nice quarterback play from both quarterbacks today so far. Obviously, Gretzinger, upper hand at the minute, but if the Titans defense can get a stop here, then we set up nicely for a very exciting second half. It's all about whether the Titans can actually get a stop here and turn the tide.
Well, it's so strange that you were discussing about whether or not the leg of luck would be called into doubt by the Bristol Aztecs, with the Titans scoring being the problem there. And I think we can clearly say that I imagine there's probably a conversation happening in a huddle with the Bristol Aztecs coaches as this ball gets kicked away, and it looks like it's going to be St. Robinson who's going to return it. He's got AJ Carr out to block in front of him, and the former captain of the Clemson Tigers is going to get that to about his own 38-yard line.
Certainly winning the field position battle today, Bristol, with another great return there. Lenkowski has the leg to put the ball out for a touchback out the back of the end zone. So I wonder if it's tactical or whether Lenkowski's just not getting the distance that he's looking for at the minute. But I think, to be honest, I'd rather keep the ball out of their hands, as those two dangerous returners can really break it at any point. And it's not like they've not been getting great field position so far.
So it's going to be Ampoma in a running back. It's going to be given to him on the right-hand side. Already stretching out, tries to stiff arm. There's going to be a decent amount of yard. Oh, that's a lot better than I thought it was. I hate it when the horizontal runs, they always dupe me, but...
So Titan's going to have to start tackling Ampoma low because so far I've seen maybe 3 or 4 runs where he reaches the sideline, guys are just bouncing off him, and each time they bounce off, he's falling forwards for an extra 2-3 yards. They need to start tackling him down low, otherwise he's going to keep continuing to power through these tackles and gaining those extra yards, which they're all going to add up.
And I mean, we can even see it from up here. Ampoma is a big human being. It's going to be going to him again, and just runs into a brick wall, and he's not going to have a first down by my eye.
Looks like the referees have signalled for a first down.
Oh, have they?
Espina and Madugu both combining that tackle, but not quite enough to stop Ampoma from getting that first down. Again, that initial tackle, I think, attempt from perhaps Jack Mayfield, or it could have been from Fagan. Not successful. Ampoma managed to power his way forward for another first.
So empty for the Aztecs now. And now Gretzinger is going to be looking to get it out to St. Robinson. He's going to be able to spin round. Keeps on spinning. It's going to be a good chunk of yardage. Looks like 8.
A lot of high tackles from the Titans here, or grasping at air. I think we need to break down, keep their eyes on the hips of the ball carrier, and then explode through the tackle. Missed tackles will be a huge issue if they continue in this game, as we've already seen on players like Ampoma. Loving this empty set, and why not?
You can see Gretzinger already eyeing up Petrie, number 86, on his right-hand side. Fakes once. There's some space to the right-hand side. Gretzinger is going to take it. And he's just going to run out of bounds, enough for a first down. I mean, we know that Gretzinger is a threat through the air, threat on his feet as well. He's already got 1 touchdown on the day already.
Penalty flag down in what would have been the secondary here. Kind of looking like it could be against the Titans.
I mean, you can sort of tell by the body language of players as they come off whether or not they've drawn a penalty flag.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. I think the penalty was against Titans number 91, Ola Balaju.
I mean, that is going to gift the Aztecs with a whole heap of yardage. Now, you can still, I believe,
Sean Vaughan back in the backfield. Will we get another big man touchdown, or will Rian Hudson, the OC for Bristol, elect to go to one of his electrifying receivers? You've got St. Robinson on the outside, AJ Carr in the slot. And at the bottom of your screen, you've got Harry Buckland, the touchdown scorer.
Fingers of steel, Harry Buckland. So, I mean, again, you've got the master key is Sean Cook, and just... it's just the Cardiff Cobras head coach. I don't want to disparage Sean Vaughan because I love to see him get it. And he's going to have it again. And Vaughan is going to try and punch through. And he's going to have... I think he's going to just about split the sticks there.
Interestingly, 2 Cardiff head coaches in the backfield there. Sean Cook, I believe, former head coach and player, quarterback, all sorts, Sean Cook. He's done it all.
I mean, it's easy to say the Cardiff Cobras are massive, but they just are. And that's why I feel so bad that I've picked them to be relegated this year. To the point where I was on the sideline earlier, and Adam Eckhart, who currently plays for the Cobras, refused to talk to me. So Gretzinger's going to look to take it himself, and he's got a large turn of speed, and he's going to just bowl through.
Touchdown.
And that is going to be the second rushing touchdown of the day for Ethan Gretzinger. And I mean, the Rolling Hills prep quarterback.
Most definitely a designed quarterback draw there. Gretzinger dropped back. He really exaggerated his passing motion and then took off. And with that speed, Titans didn't have the speed to get to him and bring him down as he powered his way into the end zone. Leg of luck.
Almost blocked. And it's good.
Looked to me like James Williams, number 7 for the Titans, could have made an attempt on that block, but decided not to dive. Brings the score to 28-14 for the Titans. There must not be a great deal of time left in this half, but with the 2-minute warning left to go, with timeouts left to go, if the Titans can get some consistency on offense, or if we look at what they've had their success with recently or lately, some more of these big chunk plays, then there's plenty of opportunity for the Titans to narrow the scoreline in this game again, as we see the dual touchdown scorer Sam Penfold and Brad Temple back to return with the leg of luck to kick off.
I mean, I feel like the Titans have done a good job of basically proving to the Aztecs that it's not destiny that it's going to be the Aztecs and the Warriors in the final.
Good field position to start with already. Temple has got speed to burn.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. He's going to get that almost to midfield. And I'd say probably some of the better starting position for the Manchester Titans today, making it a real possibility that some points could come from the Manchester side before this half comes to its end.
And the Titans will stay aggressive here. They'll understand how much time is left and how many timeouts they've got, but they know what they've had success on so far. Bisiriu has gained some yardage up the middle on runs, but not a great deal. Titans haven't really gone to their screen game, which is usually a staple of their offense. That could be because of who the players are or their proximity, but I'd expect a shot or two on this drive because that's what they've had success with.
So run play to the right-hand side, breaking through that first wall, and that is going to go for, I'd say, a decent 5 yardage. We can see there is a Aztecs player very much complaining to the referees about some afters, but I mean, that flop was, I mean, if we can see the flop from up here.
Ryan Davies get in touch with me after the game about that flop. No, I didn't see it live, Ryan. I'm not sure, but a good game for the Titans on first down there. Brings up a down here where typically the Titans would in the past have gone for a little bit of a shot.
Going to be another run play, breaking through one tackle. That looks to me to be enough for a first down. Titans got to be happy with that. Finding a bit more consistency with this run game after the orange crush of the Aztecs have managed to get through. You can trademark that one as well, Bristol. Get through that line on the run plays today against the Titans.
Great solo effort from Bisiriu there, breaking tackle after tackle to bring up a first down. Players on the right-hand side of the defense here. I was just about to say, based off the alignment of the Bristol defenders, I'd be expecting screen plays here. Yet to see Titans go for many screens, but noticeably the safety and cornerback combo to the top of the screen are playing off Penfold and Eze. So I would expect, if Manchester have done their homework, to see some screen passes here. As you see, the corner and safety 10 yards off the ball.
And Fofana there getting into the backfield. There was some, we can hear the Titans and the Titans fans as well, unhappy that there wasn't a penalty called there, but
yeah, we can only see a certain amount from up here, but while however much it looks like a face mask penalty, it's important to note that there's no such thing as a high tackle as we get the 2-minute warning here. There's no such thing as a high tackle penalty in American football. So if Forner has brought him down by sort of wrapping his arms around, the head of Bisiriu, as unfortunate as that is, not a penalty. That might be well what happened. The referees have a significantly better view than we do here.
I mean, I think we've all seen it where someone's tackled quite high and the calls for face mask come out and it's like, well, it simply wasn't. So 3rd and 12 for the Titans. They're going to have to take a shot. There is some space. Oh, and unable to bring it in. That is going to bring up 4th and 12. Not what you want, especially from the sure hands of Sam Penfold.
Yeah, not a terrible ball from Martin there. It was over the top of the defender. Perhaps it died a little bit towards the end, but Penfold should still be catching those. And if I refer back to the stream 2 weeks ago when we were talking about Penfold playing Coventry Phoenix, one of the criticisms of Penfold is perhaps that he does the hard things, but sometimes the simple things is where he perhaps falls short. And that's one of those occasions, I think, as we see Lenkowski back here to pin the Aztecs deep.
He could very well do it. He's looking for that bottom right corner. Carr is going to try and get something. Let's see where they're going to mark that up there. I mean, AJ Carr's pointing at the 12-yard line, but the Aztecs are going to be starting on their own 11.
So huge drive here for the Manchester Titans. If they get a stop here, I think that they can, go into the half, go into the locker room with their heads in a place where they know that they can compete. If, however, Bristol do manage to score here, that could completely change the mentality of the Titans as they go into the locker room and think, well, we've got a hell of a deficit to erase now, as Bristol once again, I think 4th or 5th drive of the game, and have only been kept off the board once. We'll see what they dial up.
So bringing Cook and Ampoma in. Cook's going to move over to the left-hand side. Going to go to Ampoma. Up the middle, there's certainly some space. And I think he's going to dive enough for a first down. And I felt like I was about to commentator's curse the Aztecs there. I mean, in this situation, time's running out. Despite the fact that you have got, I believe, all of your timeouts, both sides, you're going to be expecting the Aztecs to at least once try to use the arm ability of Gretzinger. It's going to be a run to the right-hand side now, and I mean, just breaking through some tackles there, and I mean, a great tackle there, almost a slightly ghost tackle there. I was too busy looking at the arms, but I believe it was number
18, Abdul Madugo, I think, came up with that tackle. And I think what we're seeing here is just a complete wearing down of the Manchester Titans D-line from this impressive offensive line for the Aztecs. Early on, perhaps the Aztecs were getting a feel for the Titans D-line, and now maybe they've got the measure of them, and Ampoma is just running wild, really. It's going to be a case of how aggressive are the Aztecs feeling. Will offense coordinator Ryan Hudson dial up something spicy? I can certainly say that with the mentality that I have and the mentality of the Titans of the past, I can't speak for this coaching staff. If we were in their situation, we would be looking to put nails in coffins and keep the foot on the neck, on the proverbial neck of the Titans. So, difficult to say. Why not keep running the ball? But with time ticking down, the Aztecs could really do some damage here if they manage to get into the end zone.
Well, I mean, one thing we have to discuss is Gretzinger's only passed for 1 touchdown today, but got 17-2 touchdown to interception ratio. Oh my Lord, I can't believe he's done that. AJ Carr is off, and I mean, a great chase down tackle as well. But I mean, just basically batting that ball to himself. James Williams on the tackle, and it's going to be a timeout called for the Aztecs.
So impressive from AJ Carr. He really is electric. His ability to create space for himself in the open field. You saw him essentially completely alone there. It was genuinely impressive, and just the concentration to bat that ball into himself, bring it down, and then turn on the burners, which we know anyone who's watched AJ Carr before knows that he's got speed to burn. Yeah, really impressive stuff.
And it just feels as though we've seen the Aztecs, and to be fair, we've seen both sides dial up these fantastic catches today. You know, whether it be Buckland, you know, fingertips of steel, or Carr there being able to back the ball to himself, as well as Penfold's 2 touchdowns. I mean, realistically, some of the best football that I've seen all British American football season long.
Yeah, great to watch. I think this game so far is really everything we hoped it would be. You know, we've got plenty of scores that people are scoring in different ways. We've got phenomenal catches, great tackles. It's setting up for something nice. You know, essentially the Titans need to get this stop here. Otherwise, they're in a really tricky situation coming out in the second half.
1st and 10. I believe the Aztecs will get the ball after half-time as well. Gretzinger is going to take it himself. But he is just floored there by the Titans. Time is ticking down. The Aztecs have only got a single timeout remaining.
Yeah,
so you can see there that they're trying to go quickly. Setting up again here are the Aztecs. And this time Gretzinger is going to try, he's going to roll out. He's going to try and find someone for his second passing touchdown of the day. I mean, maybe he saw the photographer wearing a lovely orange media high vis and thought, wow, what's that receiver doing so open?
They're not too far away from each other. Be mindful too, there's someone down on the Manchester Titans sideline here who's suspiciously wearing clothes suspiciously close to the Bristol Aztecs.
Suspiciously fluorescent.
Terribly dirty tactics from the Titans there to have someone on their own sideline in essentially the same uniform. You can't see him on screen right now, but we'll make sure to point him out as we get a 3rd and goal from the Aztecs here.
So clock stop because of that pass. Carr in motion to the left-hand side. And Gretzky, he looks to take it himself. Oh, and the Titans have a great stop there. It almost looked as though, to me, that Gretzinger turned back towards himself in an attempt to maybe shovel past the ball off again, as he's done before. But there was just simply no one there. And I mean, a great stop here for the Titans. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do. It looks like they are bringing on the field goal unit of the Aztecs. We have seen Luck miss a field goal.
Yeah, that spin was really strange. I initially thought that he'd broken away from the tackle, and then he spun, potentially not due to his own volition, and then ended up being taken down. Good show of confidence from the coaches here to come back to the leg of luck to see if he can put them 3 points ahead.
For me, it seems as though with Luck's kick, because it is more of a toe punt as opposed to a traditional sort of slice, that when you're starting from the middle of the field instead of the left hash, you've got a much better chance of it. But I could just be talking nonsense here. Almost blocked. And it is good. So 31-14 is the score. What do you think? Should the Titans be happy with that, despite the fact they've let the Aztecs score within the 2-minute warning?
I think before the game, the Titans are going to be unhappy to concede any points. But given the fact that they have seriously struggled to stop the Bristol Aztecs offense on every drive, apart from the one where, Luck missed his kick, which in reality, a couple of inches one way or the other is another score. The Titans probably will feel happy with that outcome, especially given how easily the AJ Carr catch and run could have been disastrous for them. So 3 points, not ideal for the Titans, but they'll probably feel quite relieved based on how successful the Aztecs have been so far.
And it feels very obvious to say this, but with that 3 points, I'd say it's even more crucial that when we come back for the second half, and I'm not discounting the Manchester Titans drive we're about to see, I feel like if that first drive for the Aztecs results in a touchdown, it's going to be a very, very hard second half here for the Manchester Titans. Certainly some space around the outside, trying to cut back into the middle. A great tackle there. It's going to put the Titans in a dubious situation. But we know, to be fair, I don't know why I'm saying that, because both of these schools of Titans have been on long, impressive throws. I mean, they're going to dial one up.
Yeah, we know that Martin's got the arm. What I'm curious to see now is, can he make some chunk plays that aren't just a vert down the sideline or a seam up the middle? Is he going to be able to throw the outs, the posts, you know, and is this offense going to be able to move the ball with the time that they have remaining?
Just wrapped up there, but more traditional. Strange that you're going to go to more traditional Titans football right now, as opposed to maybe saving it for the opening break of the second half, but gain a 1 on the play for Manchester, or gain a 2 on the play for Manchester.
Yeah, and a boundary screen to the bottom of the, or should I say, there's the half. I suppose the Titans knew the time.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And were just seeing if they could make something happen, I suppose.
So, I mean, 31-14 here. I don't think it's as cut and dry as that score may suggest. There have been some gaping holes in the Bristol Aztecs defence, and I feel as though the Manchester Titans run game is certainly improving as we've gone on with this game.
Yeah, and, you know, it's tough to say that the game is... You could make an argument, I think, for either case. This game is very one-sided and the Titans have just had 2 big plays. Or you could make the case that, well, you know, Titans have identified this and have taken advantage of this, and they could continue to do that for the rest of the game unless Bristol make some adjustments. But when you look at the scoreline, ultimately it's going to be a case of, are the defence for the Titans going to be able to get a stop or two? Because if they can, then maybe this Titans offence can catch up. But if they're unable to, then Bristol's offense is going to keep doing what they're doing, and it really doesn't matter what the Titans' offense then does, because they're never going to be able to erase that deficit. So as key as it's going to be for that Manchester Titans offense to come out firing on all cylinders, it's also going to be a massive thing for the Titans' defense to get some stops, to force the Aztecs to some turnovers, a punt, or you know, an interception, fumble recovery, something like that. To give the Titans offense a chance to catch up.
I think that's completely fair. I mean, I always talk about momentum in these games, and truthfully, with these big plays from Manchester, and also the Manchester defence making sure that the Aztecs don't score going into the second half, only limiting them to a field goal. Personally, despite this scoreline, I don't think that, you know, the fictional momentum meter that you may have in your head is fully orange. I really do not feel that way. I think that the Titans, I'm sure there may be some heads that are potentially beginning to drop. If there are any dropped heads on the Manchester Titans sideline, then I mean someone needs to go and pick those straight up, because I don't think the Titans are out of this game yet. The Aztecs need to keep that rotation going, and I mean this isn't the time to, you know, bring in the talent that you have for lack of a better word, garbage time. This is not garbage time. This is still playoff football, and you are still facing the Premiership North champions.
Yeah, and as the Bristol defence, how can you truly relax when you've had those 2 big plays and you know that Martin has the arm that he does? You can't fully relax, and you can't take that sigh of relief to say, okay, you know, it's 31-14, and realistically this game, we can see where it's going, because, you know, 2 offensive plays in 2 drives, they can happen on every drive that Manchester has now, and it's just a case of Martin picking out the right person. But you know, Gretzinger's been impressive with his running the ball, his passing the ball, some amazing catches, passes and catches down the sideline to AJ Carr on his one-handed catch, and the catch to Noah Clack down on the 30-yard line, which was really impressive. So Bristol have to stay the course. If they can tighten up on defence slightly, then they elude the risk of those deep plays. But if Bristol just stay doing what they're doing, okay, then I think they're going to come out and it's going to be really difficult for the Titans defence, especially, to deal with that attack, because the run game up the middle for the Bristol Aztecs is really starting to tee off. We saw it on the last drive there with Mpoma was just teeing off on that defence, and the pass game is always available with players like Petrie and Carr.
I mean, it seems as though, especially towards the dying end of that second quarter, that the run game of the Titans was actually starting to pick up a bit of momentum when, you know, it had realistically been a crushing vice from the D-line of the Bristol Aztecs. So it'd be interesting to see if that's going to continue, whether the interior of the defensive line or the interior of the defense for the Bristol Aztecs is going to allow the Titans to pick up some more momentum in that run game. Lots of questions still yet to ask, and thankfully we've got another half of football to answer them.
Can't wait. Looking forward to it. I will just give you a quick read from one of our sponsors before we leave, and then we'll leave you for a little break. So the Titans would like to announce a brand new sponsor. The Brotherhood of Pursuits and Pastimes is our favourite sports bar in Manchester city centre. At this bastion of taste and live games, we celebrate the greatest show on earth. The famous victories, the brave defeats, and sometimes even a scrappy draw away from home. But most of all, we celebrate the good sports. Those who play and watch the game with integrity, humility and respect, regardless of odds or outcome. This bar is for those people. Thank you to the Brotherhood for supporting the Manchester Titans. Excellent first half. Look forward to the second half, and we'll see you shortly.
I just came up to say, is there anything you want me to do differently? So the Zoom
So there's only one half remaining before we find out one half of the teams going to Britbowl 37 on September 7th. As it stands right now, the Bristol Aztecs have the lead 31-14. And the Aztecs are going to be starting with the ball. They've been, you know, pretty decent in terms of their offense. I believe they've only been stopped twice from scoring a touchdown, having to go for a field goal. The Titans now kicking it away. And it's going to be taken by AJ Carr. AJ Carr's going to have some space here. AJ Carr's going to have a fair bit of space there, but I mean, number 17, he kicked the ball away and he made the hit, and it looks like we've got maybe a little bit of extracurriculars here, but no flags come in. And what a surprise. It is going to be number 15, Josh Ricketts, who, strangely, as much as I do like Josh, he does seem to find his way on the end of some of these fracas, so to speak.
Well, you want the scrappy players, you know. Every team has that guy or a few guys who, yeah, they might draw a couple of flags here and there, but ultimately you need, I think, to quote Martavius Bennett, he said, you want guys who are going to eat with their hands, not knives and forks.
I mean, that is Josh Ricketts in a complete nutshell. He's abominable for a reason. So Cook moving around here. I mean, Cook is the master key here, but does, to be fair, I will say that I was expecting Cook to make a bit more of an impact block there, and not going to be a whole lot on the first offensive play from the Bristol Aztecs of this second half.
Well, the Sean Cook fans don't want to see Sean Cook on the edge. They want to see Sean Cook going up the middle, taking on a linebacker, splitting him, and paving the way for Bauer and Mpoma.
And that is Bauer going off. So we spoke earlier about this game in terms of who are the hot hands here. And for me, for the Aztecs right now, it's Mpoma.
Absolutely. He's been unstoppable. He's a massive human being.
Bit of a low snap there. Goes to Mpoma straight up the middle. And I mean, it just seems as though there was that dead stop where it looked like he's not going to be able to get any more yards. And I'd argue Mpoma fighting through there, being able to gain those extra 2 yards is probably one of the key difference makers between the Aztec scoreline and the Titans scoreline today.
Yeah, I think it's indicative of the level that we're seeing here from the Aztecs, that throughout the regular season, when the Titans defenders have come up against a ball carrier, typically the tackle is made, a secure tackle, but we're seeing Mpoma breaking multiple tackles on each play here.
So 3rd and 4 now for the Aztecs. A stop here would be absolutely amazing for the Aztecs. Oh, and I can't believe that Mpoma caught that, and he's going to keep going. I mean, this man is an absolute machine. There is a flag on the play, though. But number one, another spectacular catch from a Bristol Aztec.
Well, pardon my ignorance here, but pre-game, you know, we're mentioning all these names like Emmanuel Bauer, AJ Carr, St. Robinson. And in actual fact, Mpoma is the one who's putting on a show here. As someone who's not watched the Bristol Aztecs consistently throughout this season and has never watched the Cardiff Cobras.
That's terrible.
I'll try and rectify that. Do they have live streams?
I've done a few.
I'll make sure that I'm... it clashes with my university schedule. Scholarships are available. But I'll certainly be keeping my eye on Mpoma from now on.
You winning Div 1 this year? What do you think?
I feel confident that we have everything we need to do that. Now we have to do that.
I mean this, and this is going to be a big prediction. I cannot wait for the inevitable matchup of the Lancashire Rams versus the Edinburgh Napier Knights. We're going to get back into it for 3rd and 4. Gretzky's going to drop back. He's going to be... Oh, he's going to stumble. The ball is out. The ball is out, and he's picked up. And that was an absolute... Oh, I mean...
Wow.
The air...
Gretzinger is down.
Oh. No, I like...
Now... We'll cut away from the visuals there. Gretzinger is down. He is moving, but does look to be in some discomfort. I believe on the rules, that fumble, given that it was recovered by the Bristol Aztecs, should not be, it won't advance to where the fumble was recovered, and therefore will not be a first down. That will bring up 4th and 2 for the Bristol Aztecs.
I mean, Noah Clack there. He's been fantastic in terms of receiving the ball, but I mean, being able to recover that fumble as well. Gretzinger is back on his feet, jumping around here. I mean, let's be honest. Let's say Gretzinger is down, he has to take some plays off. They've got Luis Benzies in at quarterback, who was their starting quarterback last year. I mean, it's not so much a, you know, when you see some of these, especially in Britbowl, starting quarterback goes down, the game really changes. But I mean, Benzie's still a quarterback that you don't want to trifle with.
Absolutely. Young, talented quarterback. Benzie's had years of familiarity in this offense with these players. So if Gretzinger does end up missing some time today, you have a more than capable quarterback in Benzie.
So it is going to be the punting unit. It's going to be a 4th and 1 for the Aztecs from the midway point of the field. And they're going to try and pin them into the right-hand corner. Oh, this could be fantastic. It's going to go for a touchback. I mean, just a couple of, I think maybe 3 or 4 inches to the right-hand side. The Titans are starting on their own 1.
Yeah, and interestingly, I think that was Tom Bowering, so not the leg of luck.
Oh, yes. I could see him walking off the pitch. I mean, let's be honest, the leg of luck, whilst good, has been inconsistent, and I think, you know, having a specific punter is a better idea. I'm trying to, despite me joking about the hypnotic orange of the Bristol Aztecs side and being able to see everything, I'm trying to see if there's any movement from Gretzinger, but it doesn't look like there is, so I'm going to say I'm going to expect him back in. It's going to be a run play for the... Oh, no, I was faked out there, but...
Read option play there. Martin kept it and ran straight into number 25, who I believe is Ali Trafford, based on previous years. Yeah, that is Ali Trafford.
Former University of Bath Killer B. I do wonder how they'll do this year, but this is not a British University American football platform. So 2nd and 8 for the Titans. But they do have to strike while the iron is hot. It's going to be another run play going to the left-hand side. A lot better this time. It's going to be enough for a Titans first down. Nice. And a flag comes in here. I mean, it's always difficult when you're going over to the opponent's sideline.
Nice blocking on the edge there by, I think, Brad Temple.
Let's have a look at this. I think this could be damaging. I mean, it looks, well, it's going to be on the Aztecs.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against the Bristol Aztecs gives Titans some life.
I mean, obviously, when you have a player that has just completed a play, running over into your sideline, you have got, you do get that feeling to just, I want to say something to you. Like, I just want to. But, I mean, we can see there that something has happened, and the Aztecs have given the Titans a good bit of yardage. Great catch there. Penfold has got it again. And, I mean, another first down for the Titans. Titans looking pretty good.
Yeah, nice play-action fake there by Charlie Martin. Fakes the counter to Bisiriu, rolls out. He's actually looking for the outside here, but ends up, Penfold finds the space in the middle, hits him, and back-to-back first downs.
I mean, that flag could be absolutely crucial. Martin's not going to throw it again. There is some space, another completion for the Titans, and that's going to be 8 yards, it looks like, for Manchester.
Yeah, and Martin staying away from Eddie Onamade. If you'll notice at the top of the screen, or to the right-hand side of the screen here, Onamade, number 0, coming back over to the right-hand side. It could be that he's playing the boundary, but in previous years, when we had receivers like Anoush Fulford and Max Gracie-Ainscough, Onamade would shadow the most dangerous player.
So it's going to be a run to the left-hand side. It's going to be enough for a first down for the Titans. And I mean, This is completely uncharacteristic from the Manchester Titans that we saw in the first half, and that is exactly why I'm happy to be here commentating this game.
This is what we were talking about the Manchester Titans need to do. They got the stop defensively. So whatever adjustments George Foster, head coach, and defensive coordinator James Dean have made, they've kicked it into action. They've done exactly what they needed to do. Now, if they keep this consistency going, they put themselves in a really good position.
It feels like they're going back to that, the shock and awe that they had right at the start of the game, to the point where, these first down, and the Aztecs have taken a timeout.
Absolutely. And, I think what Martin is probably doing is he's picking and choosing between what he sees here. So typically the Titans' way of doing it was you would read box, field, boundary. So count how many players are in the box. Okay, well, that helps me make a decision on the RPO game, the run-pass option game. And then after that, you might go to the boundary, see, okay, do we have a numbers advantage? If we don't have a numbers advantage, do we have a matchup advantage? And if not, we go to the field, have a look at the field and decipher what we feel about that. And I think that Martin is doing a better job of that on this drive, albeit 3 or 4 plays. However, so far, we're looking at, 4 first downs, I think, on this drive. Now, red zone is where it gets really tricky inside this 20-yard line because everything is compressed. The Bristol Aztecs box can play more aggressively, and the DBs, the safeties, the cornerbacks, they can play man coverage, they can play zone coverage. I wouldn't be surprised to see some tricky formations here.
Out of the right hand side, but broken up there.
And by that man, Eddie Onamade. I can assure you that in scout preparations, the whole Manchester Titans coaching staff and players, they will know about Onamade. They'll know to avoid him and only take really certain or as close to certain chances at him as you can. In that instance there, I think it's a really unwise decision for Martin to attack Onamade. I appreciate he's to the boundary.
Oh, we could have something here, and it's going to be another touchdown for the Titans. And I mean, absolutely sensational from the Manchester Titans. They are back in this game.
Now, that is Connor Greenhalgh, and that is exactly what I'm talking about. So, on the previous plays, I'm saying let's not target Eddie Onamade unless it's a certainty, okay? I stand by that. However, when you run a fake screen and go, that is not targeting Onamade, and Charlie Martin will have a check down option there if Onamade was to drop deep, but in this instance he doesn't. Pip goes through the posts. We now have a 10-point game. If the Titans defense can get us another stop, Titans are in a really good situation. Bristol Aztecs offense is going to be keen to respond here. Will Gretzinger come out, or will we see Benzie?
I mean, that is the real question. We can see here that on the field, it's going to be St. Robinson and Carr, the return men, both of them exceptionally dangerous for the Aztecs. But I mean, the big question will be who is going to be the quarterback right now. I'm trying to see on the sideline if I can see.
Gretzinger looked in good spirits when he came off the pitch, and I don't believe he spent any extended time with the medical staff. So I would honestly be surprised if he didn't come out here.
I mean, I can see Gretzinger. I can see Gretzinger there just at the 33-yard line. He has got his helmet in his hands. I'm unsure if I can see if Benzie has his helmet on. So it could just be that Gretzinger wants to have a bit of a better look.
Yeah, Benzie doesn't look like he's warming up.
And it's going to be St. Robinson who's going to have the catch. AJ Carr with a good block out there. St. Robinson is going, and oh my lord, what a collision. And it is
Alex Lankowski, the kicker.
And that is the second time we've seen Lankowski have to make a tackle. And I mean, that's a big kicker. I don't want to be running into him.
Oh yeah, as a specialist kicker, Lankowski knows his, his forte, kicking, punting. However, this is a guy who works in a gym, is constantly lifting. He is not a small man. Former running back, not afraid of contact, Alex Lankowski.
So it is going to be Gretzinger. So the injury was thankfully not severe. Belle in at running back for the Aztecs. Well, he's going to have a bit of a stutter step there. He's going to get a decent amount of yardage. I'm going to say, oh, actually, given where the sticks are, that's a pretty good chunk. I'm going to say 6. To my eye, anyway, it looked like the snap was maybe... Well, there was some movement up front, and there was a little bit of missed timing, but the Aztecs managed to get something going. But that could just be... I don't know. It could just be my eyes. I don't know. So 2nd and 4 for the Aztecs, trying to get into Titans territory. Belle joins Gretzinger. No movement from the Titans. Going to go to Belle again to the left-hand side. He's going to have enough for a first down as he tries to get outside, but he is going to get taken out of bounds.
Yeah, and the defensive line for the Titans at the minute is getting washed wide. And
there is a flag on the play.
All the tackles for the Bristol Aztecs are doing is washing the defensive ends wide. Belle is coming through that gap, and he has the speed to beat the linebackers who are trying to flow outside. You see Abdul Madugu coming off here to have a chat with defensive coordinator James Dean. We do have an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the Bristol Aztecs, though.
And it seems as though, the conversation that we had about this being a not flagless game, but a game with minimal flags has gone not out the window, but I mean in the second half, unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the Bristol Aztecs. I mean, is this an indication of them potentially becoming slightly rattled here? I mean, something that I said to Sam during the halftime break is the Bristol Aztecs need to not get too cocky, or they're going to get surprised by the Titans. And when you're drawing these penalties, and it looks as though the Aztecs it looked to me that Gretzinger may be taking the second Aztecs timeout, which would be not ideal. But if they get too cocky, they're not going to do it. Another low snap there. Gretzinger is going to roll out to his right-hand side, looks to fire it. He's going to find a man, and he's going to be able to scramble for that first down.
I think that was Noah Clack on the reception again, making important catches to bring Bristol out of tricky situations. But yeah, I imagine that Bristol, playing the Warriors, playing the London Blitz, they'll have that mental fortitude and that resilience to fight back from when they're in situations that are less than ideal. However, they really have to stop racking up these what I would call unforgivable penalties.
I mean, when they're like 5 yards for a holding, yeah, maybe, but 15 yards for a dead ball unsportsmanlike, no. Now he's going to go Belle. He's going to get stopped there, but he's going to be able to keep on his feet and just fall forward. I mean, when I spoke to head coach of the Bristol Aztecs, Pete Jones, before the game, he did express me, 13 games for the Aztecs this season, with those games in the CEFL against Amsterdam and Karlstad versus the 7 of the Manchester Titans due to the Edinburgh Wolves dropping out of the league and the Newcastle Vikings giving a walkover to the Titans. He said there is an argument here to say, are the Aztecs worn out or are they battle tested? And I feel like this is where it's going to be absolutely key for them to find out whether they are battle tested. And I mean, penalties like that, not good. Oh, and we saw that play earlier in the game and it didn't really have much success, but it's going to amount to a first down for the Aztecs.
Quick toss play to Ampoma, just rotating through those 2 backs. Belle seems to be doing light, nimble work in between the tackles, and then Ampoma's coming in and running over these tired defenders.
Whoa. Are you forgetting about Sean Vaughan?
Never. The Cardiff Cobras head coach, goal line specialist.
And goal line specialist. So Cook is going to come in, and we have got Ampoma back in at running back for the Bristol Aztecs. Cook's going to go low, and it's going to allow Ampoma to get through, but not have too much yardage. I'm going to say only 3 for Ampoma.
I think that's the first time in this drive, perhaps, that the Titans have managed to get a somewhat of a stop on first down. And I say that after the Bristol Aztecs gained 3 yards. But typically, we've been seeing 6+ yards on first down rushes from the Aztecs on this drive, and I suppose throughout the majority of the game, really. So, you know, if I'm the Aztecs, I'm going back to the well again. But if there's a matchup you like out here, second down, close to the goal line, now's the time.
So Gretzinger going to drop back, going to step up into the pocket, this time to the left-hand side, looking for St. Robinson, but firing it far too far over his head, and we do have multiple flags on the play.
So they did take the shot on the second down. Gretzinger had plenty of room to run if he liked it, but he liked the look to St. Robinson.
I mean, when the QB's scrambling out the pocket, normally the yellow flag comes out to indicate a lineman may be a bit too grabby, so to speak, but the penalty...
Could have been lineman downfield as well, potentially.
Ooh. I wish that wasn't a penalty. Only so I could catch the ball. So holding on the Aztecs.
Yeah.
And then DPI, defensive pass interference.
And the reason that's so difficult for an offensive lineman is you can't see your quarterback. You've got your back turned to them, and you're just trying to do your best efforts to keep them clean, to keep them safe. And when the quarterback rolls out to one side, quickly the defender moves, and you are essentially left kind of grabbing to try and make sure that, you know, they can't get to where they want to. So unfortunate for the Bristol Aztecs, but not too dire of a situation. Still second and...
So it looks to me that both Ampoma and Cook have gone over to the sideline, and given that it's an empty formation, are we going to see some more magic from Gretzinger? He's going to step up in the pocket, evade, and fires one. Oh, and that is going to be caught for a touchdown. Absolutely fantastic. And being able to dive through here.
That is Joshua Petrie again.
But
there is a late flag, I think it was.
I think that's for celebration. They were very, very, very happy that Josh Petrie was able to get a touchdown there. I think maybe slightly too happy not on their sideline.
I'm very much in the mentality of let them celebrate, really. If it's not a pre-designed thing that kind of takes aim at the opposition,
yes,
then I love a celebration, really.
You know, for me, it's obviously if they're doing things that are quote-unquote uncouth towards their opponents. Yeah, that's going to be a celebration penalty on the Aztecs. And normally I don't try and, you know, say anything about our referees here. But
did they? Yeah, they did call it on the Aztecs. Yeah, I think I think it was a bit harsh.
Yeah,
that's my personal opinion.
I completely agree. Just because that was more so, you know, Petrie and the other receivers and Gretzinger as well, just sort of jumping up and down in celebration.
Yeah.
Didn't look too bad for that for me anyway. But it's going to be 37 to 38. Oh no, 37 to 38. 21 to 38 here for the Aztecs, and the Aztecs. For me, like they just have the answer.
Absolutely.
I mean,
I was just going to say that you know, there's so many options available for the Aztecs. The running game has worked. The passing game to everybody has worked. So it's a case for the Titans of, well, you can perhaps try and pick your poison. Are we going to shut the run game down? Well, the pass game then opens up. Are we going to shut the pass game down? The run game then opens up, and they haven't done a particularly fantastic job of consistently stopping either of those things. And then, you know, take into account the fact that Gretzinger can run. You know, so you go empty and you drop all of your, you know, you've got your pass rush, of course, but you drop all of your DBs back. If it's a draw play, like we saw Gretzinger score down on the right-hand side of the screen in the second quarter, you know, you're in a situation where you're not really able to stop the pass, the run, the quarterback run. So it's really going to be on the Titans' offense here to try and do what they've done in the a few of their drives and put themselves in a position to score and keep themselves in this game.
I mean, for me, it's the Manchester offense came out very, very hot in their first drive of this quarter being able to score. And I think that, for me, there's no reason why the Manchester offense aren't going to be able to do that again. But it's still going to be a case of balking the kick there.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't believe that's a penalty, but there's certainly some calls for it.
I think that may just be inexperience of their kickers, given that Spencer Cutland is not playing today on the sideline.
I think you're right. So the 15-yard penalty at the end of after the touchdown meant that the Bristol Aztecs were kicking off from deep in their own half, brings the Titans after the return from Brad Temple out to the 39-yard line.
And the man who caught the touchdown for the Aztecs, Josh Petrie, on the tackle as well.
He has had a good game, so I suppose it's down to the Titans offense to try and play keep up here.
I think it is going to be a case of the score that the Aztecs were able to put on them in the first half may potentially be slightly too much to overcome here, just given that the Aztecs have been able to dictate the pace on offense. But I said coming into the second half that the Titans' run game was starting to gain a little bit more shape and get through the vice of the interior defense of the Aztecs. But I was about to say potentially not, but that's not a horrific gain for a first down.
No, an offensive coordinator for the Titans, Alex Challens, will be content with 3 yards per play typically. 4 yards per play typically. So,
oh, great catch there by Penfold.
So they'll be happy with these short runs, because what that then opens up for are the plays like that to Penfold, where you have to bring defenders into the box to deal with the run. Opens up for the passing game. So I would expect to see a lot of RPOs here, run pass options from Alex Challens, the offensive coordinator. It's just about whether Charlie Martin can make the right choices. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Charlie Martin run here.
Gets it out. It's going to be enough. Ooh, maybe slightly too presumptuous there. Or it's going to be second and inches here for the Manchester Titans.
Yeah, that's that counter screen again that we've seen. Martin reverses field, makes it look like he's going to hand the ball off to Bisiriu, and then gets the ball out to Mane Eze. These are those horizontal screens. Well, I don't think you can have too many vertical screens now that I think about it, but that horizontal run game, let's call it.
It's going to be a run play. It looks as though there's not much. We may even see...
Third and short, I think.
I don't know if you can have short inches. We may have to bring out the old classic sheet of paper to go in between the ball and the down marker, which is...
And it is still third down. I think the Titans are in 4 down territory here.
I completely agree. I think it's not an easy thing to do, but when you really stack the box, it makes it, a real gamble for the offense, because they could go for something amazing. I mean, I saw it last season in British University football with the Warwick Wolves. They had a QB sneak that went for about 80 yards, and they did it twice. Oh, and so close, but that's going to be enough for a first down. Joseph Fofana was right there, but he just could not complete the tackle, I should say. And that is going to give the Titans a fresh set of downs inside of Aztec territory.
Yeah, just about enough there from Bisiriu, who's coming off the field. They brought Nathan Jukes on, a bigger back. Could be to give Bisiriu a rest, could be because they want a more powerful running game, or it could be that they recognise Charlie Martin needs a bit more time in the pocket, and that Jukes provides the pass protection.
Well, we can see Jukes on pass protection there. Martin looking for the back. There's some... I've got to say that is PI. They're saying nothing. I don't know about that.
I'm very, very surprised by that. The defender did not make a play.
We can even see that the referees are having a meeting down there. I can imagine that a late yellow flag might come out here. Normally, when the referees are having a conversation themselves, and it doesn't, and To me, it looks like the referee maybe turned him here. No. Okay.
We can see it. I think
maybe some of the Titans coaches maybe potentially in a position of maybe getting a yellow flag here, because there is some conversations going on that sideline.
I'm very, very surprised by that, and I believe that when the officiating crew watch this back, they'll perhaps feel differently about that play once they see it. The defender made no attempt for the ball, and that's to block a player is not a penalty anymore. It was for, I think, a very short period of time, which was a ridiculous penalty, honestly. However, Manny Eze was definitely interfered with in his attempts to get the ball. There is a Bristol player down at the minute, number 99.
That's
Adam Eckhart. But he is up and walking off the field.
Another card of Cobra. If you got your bingo sheet,
it's an the recruitment. The I can't think of the word I'm looking for. The pool that Bristol Aztecs have to draw upon is really impressive. I mean, ultimately, even if they only were drawing upon the SGS Pride, that is an impressive university team to be able to recruit from. But the fact that they have a couple of other teams, Bristol Barracuda are certainly on the up, and Cardiff Cobras obviously plenty of impressive players.
So 2nd and 10 here. Mine's going to get out to the right-hand side. It's going to be... I thought that catch was made, but no.
Dropped by Eze there. I was just going to say that I think that you have to be... When you're targeting the side of Eddie Onamade, it's not a case of fear. It's more a respect thing. And you have to be certain that you're likely to succeed. I think the risk-reward of targeting that side is high, and it's not like it was a boundary throw either, because the ball is in the middle of the two hashes.
So 3rd and 10 here for the Titans. Martin's going to drop back. He's going to roll out to his right-hand side. He's going to have some space. He manages to get past one. Eddie Onamade was right there. But, I mean, after that call was not made by the officials. But Martin knew he had to put the Titans on his back and give them a first down and continue to have a fighting chance of making it to Britbowl 37.
Yeah, Martin calls his own number there, keeps his eyes downfield, but once the pocket collapses, gets outside. Fauna stumbles, fortunately for Martin, otherwise he was perhaps toast, but manages to get the first down, keep the drive alive.
And I feel bad, like saying we've seen it a couple of times that Fofana's right there, and it's inches away from Fofana making a legendary play. But I was going to say, if that was Fofana, that would have been absolutely fantastic. But no, that is the leading tackler of the Bristol Aztecs, Ryan Davies.
Yeah, great timed blitz there. Exploded through the hole, met Bisiriyu in the backfield, and brought him down for the loss. So that's a loss of 2, maybe 3 yards. Puts Titans a little bit further back. You don't want to lose yards here, but having a bit more room is not really too much of a problem for the Titans. It is man coverage by the looks of things.
He's really moving over to the other side. It's going to go to him running to the left. He's going to stumble. And I mean, that's exactly the opposite of what the Titans needed on 2nd down. Interesting call on a 2nd and 12 there for the counter, which I don't believe has worked with too much success here. I think that the Titans play caller, Alex Challens, and Martin, the quarterback, need to take a look at the numbers outside of the box here and pick on these matchups. Sam Penfold has scored 2 touchdowns on this defense already by getting over the top. Now, maybe over the top isn't an option here, but you certainly have the middle of the field open with the 2 high safeties. So 3rd and 13. Martin's going to roll to the right-hand side. There is some space, and it is going to be caught. And it's not going to be a touchdown, but it is going to be enough for a first down, and that's going to be very, very close. So Sam Penfold hits the middle of the field in between the 2 high safeties. I have seen football before.
And, a good play design there. Penfold, I don't know if it's by design, but he runs the post, opens into the middle of the field, and he sat down in the middle of the field. As we move to the fourth quarter here, this is going to be, in my opinion, the most important few plays of the game for the Manchester Titans here.
I mean, it really is a case of this offense for the great catch by that lineman on that water bottle, by the way. I wish you saw it. It's going to come down to the defense of the Titans here. I mean, if they can, limit the Aztecs in scoring any more, and the offense for the Titans, which is doing well, has been helped out with some, let's be honest, egregious penalties from the Bristol Aztecs. If the defense can keep the Titans in this, the Titans have a chance of winning this football game.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Titans will feel that way. The Titans, especially the offense, they've had this drive and maybe the odd play here or there, Martin getting outside the pocket of things, that it's a broken down play, and the Aztecs can look back on that and say, okay, well, as long as we limit that, as long as we do this. But ultimately, the Titans are driving. They are getting that consistency offensively that we were saying they're going to require. However, with the amount that the Bristol Aztecs are running the ball, the clock is ticking, the Titans are also still running the ball. And in reality, is the payoff, or has the payoff from Bisiriu been so great that they need to keep running it? Well, I think the clock management is going to be more important.
So it goes to... No, it doesn't. Martin's got it. And just knocked away.
I think that Martin needs to be a bit more sensible with the football there. The defender was in a trail position, and there's not a lot of room to work with down here. I think that passing over the middle when you're within the 5-yard line is extremely risky, and usually you'd only see maybe a little tight end release, but the end zones are quite short here as well. Realistically, if we're looking to pass the ball, it needs to be outside. Note that Onamade is to the bottom of your screen, covering number 1 Brad Temple.
So a crucial one here goes to Bisiriu. And I think he's going to have that one. It's going to be a touchdown for the Titans. And I mean, now it's time for the defense to get to work. The offense have delivered. But it's time for the defense to keep the Titans in this game, as we do have, by the looks of things, an Aztec down. Yeah,
so I think that, exactly as you said, Titans' offense has upheld their end of the bargain. Now, that I'm not talking about throughout the entirety of the game, because obviously we do have the inconsistencies in the first half. They weren't able to create consistent drives. Their touchdowns did come from big shots. However, the ask was consistency coming out of the second half. Titans offense has delivered. The ask of the defense was to get some stops. They got one stop, then the Aztecs scored. If they can get another stop here, Titans are in a really good situation.
Because it's going to be a real struggle for them, with both Bauer and Ampoma being fantastic today in being able to run the football. Unless, obviously, Sean Vaughan as well, got to mention that. But, Sean Cook opening up those doors for both Ampoma and Bauer. I mean, realistically, that needs to be stopped. But then, as you said earlier, okay, we're going to dedicate ourselves to stopping this run game. Congratulations, you're going to get Gretzinger, and it's going to go to Petrie or Robinson or Carr.
Yeah.
Or realistically, who's been fantastic in this game, and not as talked about, I'd say, is Noah Clark. Well.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I'm the Bristol Aztecs offense here, my mentality is this is potentially about to be a 10-point game, which it now is. Mm-hmm. The Titans offense, if we're going to break it down, they have to score twice when we're in the fourth quarter, and we have been in the fourth quarter for a few minutes now. If the Bristol Aztecs offense relies on their run game to see out this game, with the likes of Sean Cook, Sean Cook in the backfield opening up for the blocks, and we've got those two dangerous running backs, rely upon the run game, just burn clock, absolutely burn clock, because there's no need for the Bristol Aztecs to panic here. It's a 10-score game in the fourth quarter. While we've got just a second here, I'll read out another one of our advertisements. So we've partnered with Pitman Flannel Company, where timeless style meets rugged comfort. From the sidelines to the great outdoors, Pitman's premium flannels keep you warm, sharp, and ready for anything. Built for legends, worn by Titans. Titans not afraid to be a bit spicy on special teams, and Lenkowski has the leg for it, so...
Good ball out there. And it's going to be taken by Carl. He's going to bobble it. Carl needs to get a handle on it. And he's tripped, but he keeps going. And I mean, as kickoffs go, that's exactly what the Manchester Titans are looking for.
Yeah, are the Bristol Aztecs feeling the pressure here?
This is it. I'm sure that there is... The Aztecs need to strike a balance here between having that pressure and also knowing what has brought you to this point and having a 10-point lead. If they don't, I feel like if they don't start feeling the pressure, lackadaisicalness, Titans are going to have it. If they get too cocky, and they could potentially make a mistake, Titans are going to capitalise on that. They need to find that perfect balance of, hey, this is getting a bit close for comfort here. This offense is cooking, but also look what we're doing on offense and look what we've done all day long.
Yeah, regardless of the situation, this offense will be feeling confident for the Bristol Aztecs. They've not really been stopped all day.
Oh, and I mean, a bit of a mishandle there. Gretzinger's going to go to the outside and take a slide. Looks like he couldn't really make up his decision there.
No, it looked like there was a bit of an issue on the handoff. Perhaps just one or, perhaps Gretzinger turned the wrong way or the running back was not where he expected to be. It's interesting to me. The veteran, I think that's an offensive lineman for Bristol. What's interesting to me is the mentality of a Gretzinger, an American quarterback who's, potentially, I'm guessing here, played the game since he was very young, compared to the average British quarterback. Notice what Gretzinger did on that play. You had the issue with the handoff, immediately turn, run, gain some positive yardage, but then the most important thing he did, he slid to stay in bounds.
So this is a really, really interesting thing, and I'm so happy that you've brought it up. It's one of these key things that Gretzinger does compared to the British quarterbacks.
Absolutely.
We see. Because Gretzinger knows he can run, he can outrun some of these British defenders, but how many times do you really see a British QB who's on the run take a slide in the way that Gretzinger does? A perfect American football quarterback, I do not want to be hit, slide. It's very, very rare, and it seems like it's, not as important of a skill, but it's something that he's been able to utilize during this Bristol Aztecs season. We saw it a lot during the London Warriors game that they had with the draw, where he'd be chased out of the pocket, gain these yardage. I mean, only 2 yards by the looks of things right now, but it is very interesting that you bring up that, an American QB sliding. I know that Ethan has played, at the very least in high school, which, given I'm not entirely sure how old Ethan is a very, very extended period of time.
Yeah, and it's not something typically that I think the average quarterback practices or is preached to about. The quarterback will take a big hit and the head coach will say, no, please don't take that hit. But then again, practicing sliding is something that you have to do, and it's only something that we did at Manchester over the past 2 seasons, really.
Sam Pomer is going to move behind Gretzinger for this 2nd and 8. He's going to fire it out, and his fire goes over the head of St. Robinson.
Importantly for Manchester here, stopping the clock. I think that the Titans' defense has had no real answer for this run game. So I'm surprised here to see, maybe they were trying to catch the Titans' defense off guard, and if they complete that to St. Robinson, maybe he's away to the races. So I don't want to be completely critical of the decision there, but I think your aim here is to win the game. And you can win the game with the battle of fatigue.
I mean, given, obviously, if the Bristol Aztecs do not go for it here, this 3rd and 8 could very well be the most important defensive play of the Manchester Titans' entire game.
I think based on the consequences, it most certainly is.
So here we go, 3rd and 8 for the Aztecs. Titans need a big stop here, and it's going to go to Ampoma, and Ampoma is a big man, and he is going to have enough for a Bristol Aztecs 1st down.
Yeah, and I personally see no reason why Bristol can't just rotate through Ampoma, through Bauer. You know what? Throw Sean Cook a carry, throw Sean Vaughan a carry here and there. Why not? Because currently the Titans defence doesn't really have an answer. You know, we saw Espina really happy about his tackle there, and not to take away from a good tackle against a big back, but, you know, he's just rumbled forward for 8 yards and a first down in the fourth quarter of a game that you're trailing.
You know, when the Aztecs coming into this game, as a team, averaged 6.32 yards per rush. That's a big stat line, and I mean, that's you can see why they're in the playoffs. Goes to Ampoma again, and Ampoma is going to have a decent chunk of that first down yardage. In fact, I think he's going to have 9 of it.
Yeah, improving that rushing average here today. Titans have got to find a way to shut down this run game. I understand that playing man coverage at this point in the field and selling out to stop the run is high risk. But ultimately, I think that your season is on the line in a 10-point game in the fourth quarter. And I'd be hoping or expecting that the Titans would essentially sell out to stop the run a little bit more.
So Ampoma moving next to Gretzinger. Goes to Ampoma again. He's going to go to the left-hand side. Again, flag comes in.
So it was the umpire who threw.
There's a little bit of extracurricular, a little bit of pushing and shoving going on, but nothing that's going to draw a yellow flag. But we are going to find out what this one is.
Umpire threw the flag there, so I would assume that it's either offensive or a rarely seen defensive holding penalty. It does look like the Bristol Aztecs offense has marched themselves back, and it certainly is. So a holding penalty, which brings up second and a long 10.
And that big run from Ampoma, despite impressive and very much indicative of this game, is going to be wiped off the record books. But I mean, given that they're now behind the sticks, are we going to see a potential pass here from the Aztecs? But truthfully, I think I've got to agree with you that, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Despite the fact that Ampoma is lining up, he's going to join Gretzinger on his left-hand side. High snap, fakes out, and they are going to have a shot here, but that ball is going to go incomplete. He was looking for AJ Carr, could not find him, but the clock does stop here for the Titans, 3rd and 11.
Yeah, dart, throwing a rope from Ertzinger there, but unfortunately, probably could have done with being a little bit more patient and floating that ball out. I think that safety, Josh Fagan, was in a good position if the quarterback tries to get that ball there early. If Ertzinger's a little bit more patient, he's got AJ Carr over the top, and Fagan's probably not in a great position there. So 3rd and a long 10 here.
And it seems as though there was a lot of talking there, but we can see now that I believe that is
tailback, pass protection you would expect.
So Gretzinger's got a lot of time in that pocket. He tried to step up, he's going to go to the left-hand side, tries to just push it to Robinson, but he is absolutely creamed.
Big stop there from James Williams. Titans defense, Titans sideline, and the entire crowd here, emphatic roar as we make that stop there. We are looking at a 4th and 3, and we can see, I think it's Bowering, Tom Bowering back to punt. See the strength of his leg as Sam Penfold is back to return. A huge stop for the Titans defense there.
I mean, we saw the Aztecs get a blocked punt about in this same range. Ball bounces up off the floor, and it's going to be taken by Bowering, and Bowering has got some space, and Bowering has a first down for the Aztecs. Unsure if that was completely designed, because that ball was wobbling about on the floor, but Bowering gives the Aztecs some new life.
I believe, Tebbs, that will be the key play in this game that defines the result and sends the Bristol Aztecs to the national final. If they get a stop there, whether it's the punt, you know, Manchester in with a shout. if they tackle Tom Bowering on what I believe was an accidental, not an unplanned rollout, then Manchester are in with a really good shot. But I think that could be too much to come back from.
I'm going to say, strange to go empty set here for the Aztecs. Gretzinger's got a lot of space, got a lot of time. He's going to take it himself to the left-hand side, and he's just going to wobble his way out of bounds. Clock does stop, but I do agree. I mean, that was fortuitous for Tom Bowering there, and I'm sure. I mean, if that was a unplanned fake punt there, then I'm sure that by the end of this game, Bowering will be lifted upon the shoulders of the Bristol Aztecs.
Absolutely, unsung hero for sure. I think it was a smart play under pressure, and unfortunately for the Titans defender, didn't attack the outside hip.
Moving over to the left-hand side, Bauer's going to follow him. Bauer's going to have enough for a first down and a little bit more dragged down by some Manchester Titans. Williams, number 7, has been, one of the key elements here for the defense of the Titans, but not before the Aztecs gained the yardage they needed. And that's been the case realistically all game long.
Yeah, and that play we just saw from the Bristol Aztecs there used to be one of their absolute staple plays. You get the running back out on the edge, you pull a good few linemen, you get your fullback Sean Cook out to the edge as well, and you just have a mass quantity of massive human beings. And it's just a staple of the old Bristol Aztecs. I wouldn't be surprised if they just continue to have Bauer on the edge like that.
So 1st and 10. Bauer goes up the middle. And the Titans bring down for, I'm going to say, a gain of 2 or 3 there, not too much. Just a mess of bodies untangling there. And a successful fake punt in a situation like this, there are some plays that really draw the air out of the lungs of the team that is, chasing that lead. And I feel like that is exactly what we've seen here. The crowd that was here chanting for the Titans, it seems to be that, not that they've gone quiet, as we can still hear them, but it's very much
Absolutely. You get the huge stop from James Williams on 3rd down to bring up 4th. And the momentum all of a sudden is palpable. It's on your side. It's measurable almost. And then you get that 4th down, that rush from Bowering to bring up 1st down, and it really deflates you. And not to, bring up history, but if you cast your mind back to the 2023 national final between the Manchester Titans and the London Warriors, that was a really back and forth game. And one key turning point is when the Alex Lenkowski punt hit the Warriors defender on the back of his helmet. The Manchester Titans recovered, went on to score, and that put them ahead really to win the game. It was such a huge turning point, and I think that this result, the result of that Tom Bowering rush, could have the same effect.
I absolutely can't wait for this game to be over so I can go and ask head coach Pete Jones, was that a design? I'm sure that he could just lie and tell me that it was, but...
Absolutely.
So run play up the middle there.
Special teams coordinator Jack Mullins will make sure we have a word with him after the game. Or maybe we'll go up and speak to Tom Bowering himself.
And this is what's interesting. There's so many, good teams in British University, American football that, their influence can be felt on the Aztecs. Jack Mullins, new head coach of the Exeter Demons.
Quality.
And they'll be going up against, Sean Vaughan's Cardiff Cobras. It's all very tightly bunched down there in the southwest of the country. Cook moving around. Bauer's going to follow him. That's enough for a 1st down, but out of bounds. And it seems to be that your prediction for what the Aztecs are going to be doing for this game is very much ringing true. You don't need to put that ball up in the air. You don't need to stress the arm of Gretzinger or stress the DBs over the top when, Bauer and Ampoma, not via Sean Cook, but very much aided by Sean Cook, is just you know, it's pay dirt at the end of the day, and it has been all game long.
Yeah, and I think that there's no pressure on the Bristol Aztecs to do anything exciting or interesting here. It's wind clock and win the game. The pressure is on the Titans to do something and make something happen.
So it goes to Petrie there. Also, I did once witness Josh Petrie throw for a touchdown, run in a touchdown, and catch a touchdown during a UE Bullets game.
The trifecta.
Absolutely sensational. You know, I know that he's going to be going back to North Carolina once the British American football season ends. And once again, I'm going to tell you my favourite fun fact about Josh Petrie, that he has a Division II Southern Championship and a Britbowl Premiership Championship. And I'm sure there's probably a few people out there that also have that accolade, but I just find it funny that
few and far between.
Few and far between. So 2nd and 7 here for the Aztecs. Petrie's going to move to the left-hand side. It's going to go to Petrie. And as much as I'd say Petrie probably doesn't have the power of Ampoma,
it's very, very nippy. Brought down by Espina, who is also UWE alumni. So 3rd and 6 here. Huge play for the Titans. Would remain a 2-score game if they could limit them to a field goal here. But if I'm the Bristol Aztecs, I'm happy to run clock and try and score again to put this game out of reach.
I mean, you can see there no backs with Gretzinger. He's going to look to throw it.
Oh, boom! That is tight end Alex Baldry, who, as far as I'm aware, has not played a single snap of defensive football this year, aside from that play. He was formerly from SGS Pride and, more interestingly, Laney College.
Interesting.
The team that was on Last Chance U.
That's crazy.
So I'm not sure if Baldry was there during that season or not, but what straight comes up with a sack? Question mark.
And it looks to be. I mean, you said they're limiting them to a field goal here, so
Titans should be very happy with this. The worst it can get for them is a 13-point deficit, which is going to be hard to come by. But leg of luck,
and it is blocked. Now ball is scrambling around, but luck dives upon it, and I'd argue that it's not over yet for the Manchester Titans.
No, the Titans have got let's be real, they've got a real job on their hands here. But if we were to say the Titans score a deep touchdown early on here in this drive, and they go for an onside kick with the leg of Lenkowski, and they recover, it's not so far-fetched that it's unbelievable. Would it be impressive? Yes, but not impossible.
So the Titans now lining up. They know time's not on their side. Martin is going to roll to his right-hand side. Just a short one out there, just over the top. Flag on the play.
The area of that flag would suggest to me that there could be a lineman downfield there. Martin needs to be very sensible with the ball here. He will have receiving options, but those windows are going to be tight. When you get to the Premiership and first down Manchester, must be defensive holding. Or it could have been defensive holding, should I say. When you get to the top level of British American football and you're a quarterback, essentially what you notice is that the margins for error get smaller. So the windows of opportunity to get the ball in at perhaps Division 1 level or at university level, which Charlie Martin is very familiar with his time at UCLan, or now Lancashire. It's going to be hard to kick that habit.
Oh, mate, it's so bad.
He'll be used to those windows. Over the course of this season, he's getting used to finer margins.
I mean, wide open there. Being driven back there, but the referees are going to give forward progress, and it looks like it's going to split the sticks.
There's quite a bit of dawdling for the Titans offense here.
Yes, there certainly is. I would be a lot considering you're not using these timeouts there, don't get me wrong, they are going quicker than normal, but just not quick enough. I personally think the no-huddle offense is a weapon that British American football teams just do not use enough. Martin is going to step up. Fire one. Just
Very risky pass there. I know I keep mentioning Eddie Onamade, but when you're targeting his side, you have to be really certain that, you know, the opportunity is a pretty sure thing.
So I can see now, I've just got a message from Bristol Aztecs receiver Chris Green.
Oh yeah,
and
Greener.
And he tells me it was not a fake punt, I can tell you now. So
thanks, Chris Green. False start from the Manchester offense. Really not ideal for the Titans offense to have that deep pass go nowhere and then have a penalty taking him to 3rd and 10. Now, Martin knows that he'll have 2 downs here. He'll know he's in 4-down territory. So realistically, what he's got to do here is he's got to either make sure that the shot play he takes is a dead certain, or he needs to get a chunk of this yardage back and put himself in a manageable 4th-down situation.
So Martin's going to step up. And he threw it while he was being tackled, and it's just unable to be brought in. That would have been absolutely spectacular. But it's going to end up as a 4th and 10, and potentially the Titans' last chance.
Yeah, Martin had a defender wrapped around his legs throwing that ball there. So impressive ball that, yes, was at the shoestring of Sam Penfold, but again, as we said before, Penfold makes the difficult grabs. He makes the tough catches. In my opinion, going down to your shoelaces, rolling over, protecting the football, that should not be a catch that's up for dispute. Penfold should be catching that as we see a timeout here. 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning.
I mean, it comes at a very, very stressful moment for the Manchester Titans. 2-minute warning. Martin needs to connect here with something, and it's going to be a 1st down for the Titans. Still on his feet is Penfold, and he's going to go out of bounds. And there's still life in the Titans, but they're going to need a miracle in Manchester.
Absolutely, and you know, happy to identify that was against Eddie Onamade, but what the Titans are running there is, it's called a win concept. Sam Penfold on the backside is going to have the option to sit or go. If Eddie drops off, he's going to sit at about the sticks. If he drops off, he's going to keep. If he comes down, he's going to keep going.
So here we go, Martin. Once again, going through the air, tries right into the middle, bobbled around.
Little behind Penfold there. Those are the kind of throws that's the margin for error that we're talking about here. One thing for sure is the Titans cannot keep this ball in bounds. If one of their players or one of their ball carriers is in possession of the football, they need to get out of bounds to stop and preserve the clock, because remember, not only are the Titans looking to score on this drive to put themselves into a good position for the onside kick, but they have to try and go and score again.
So a timeout called here by the Aztecs. I believe that is their 2nd of the half. But I mean, this is the football that you live for. Realistically, it's down to the wire. It's not over yet. 10 points in it. The Titans. I mean, last week I was at the Wembley Stallions versus the East Kent Mavericks.
What an exciting game that was!
And I tell you what, the onside kick from East Kent, when they managed to get that late in the 4th, and then the heartbreak of missing that field goal to tie the game and take it to overtime, when they just beaten the London Olympians in overtime the game prior. You know, realistically, it's not out of the realm of possibility that we could see something here. But the Titans, with not much time left, need to get a touchdown. That's number one. Well, I mean, they could get a field goal if they want to try for, you know, OT. If you want to have OT, that's fine, because it makes it really interesting. But
yeah, I think that it would be really difficult for Manchester to. Oh, sorry, we've got a time check here. 1:30 left. 1 minute 30 seconds left. I believe the Titans have 2, or maybe even all 3 timeouts.
I'm fairly. From my recollection, I think the Titans have got all 3.
Okay. So a touchdown is mandatory here for the Titans. They could go for a field goal. I don't believe that's what they'll do.
Martin drops back. Fofana's right there, and Fofana brings him to the ground. Ball is
It
out.
looks like the
And I mean,
signal.
this could be it. And it is Aztecs football, and it looks to me that the Aztecs will be flagged. 2 flags fly in, but I think they're going to be after the play was over.
Yeah. Fauna comes in, makes the play.
And Carlson Charles, number 92, looks to have come up with that ball and realistically pushed the Aztecs to another meeting with the London... Sorry, that's really harsh of me to say. To either the London Warriors or the Coventry Phoenix. Sorry about that, Coventry. It's really bad.
I'm sure you're used to the DMs and the messages from people all around the country.
It's just not a good look when Depth Chart Sports is officially partnered with the Coventry Phoenix. So I'm sorry, Coventry. I mean, imagine if Coventry won tomorrow. That'd be fantastic, but...
Getting the call from the referee here. Unsportsmanlike conduct from Bristol. I do believe that the defence for the Manchester Titans is coming on the field. So, yes, it is Bristol Aztecs ball. You would expect the Bristol Aztecs won't take knees here because the Manchester Titans have 3 timeouts. So I would expect to see 3 run plays. And if they get a first down, then the game is over. Even if the Manchester Titans were to get a stop here, time on the clock left would likely not be enough for them to score and then score again. So, yeah.
I mean, realistically, when you look at this game, there was so little turnovers that it was bound to be the key that would take one of these teams to victory. I mean, you could have a blocked punt, but obviously that would, unless there's something going on where the receiving team had touched it beforehand. But I mean, a fumble to potentially wrap this game up, I can't say that it's much of a surprise, and it's simple football. Don't turn the ball over.
Yeah, and the protection for both quarterbacks today has been relatively okay. We have seen a little bit of pressure. Gretzinger and Martin have both rolled out. They've both been sacked. But just that one play there, devastating for the Titans, and just seals the deal, really, for Bristol. Titans take their time out to stop the clock and just try and make something happen, as Bristol gained about 3 yards on that play through Emmanuel Bauer.
So 2nd and 8. Again, let's say something does happen and we get to coin the phrase "the miracle in Manchester." But I mean, that's what it's going to take here for the Titans to get something going. But if we sort of look at this game so far and how it's been, I mean, the run game of the Aztecs is what has got them into this position. This is what has got them, being able to make the journey up to Coventry, to have the redemption of the last year. I mean, coming off that draw with the Warriors, realistically, I feel like every year someone will say this is the Aztecs year. But
yeah.
They've got to now answer the question, because what else do they need to do to beat the Warriors? And that's going to be it. I think that's going to be a first down, and it's going to be Bauer who's got it, and that is going to send the Aztecs
Absolutely.
to Coventry.
And that formidable run game of the Aztecs is essentially going to play into the strength also of the London Warriors, who have a formidable box defense themselves. The defensive line for the Warriors is genuinely obscene. And they have a plethora, a foray of linebackers who are behind them, who are really strong in run support, athletic enough to play out in the pass. So the fact that the previous game between the London Warriors and the Bristol Aztecs was a tie sets up for, if what we believe will happen, that the Warriors will turn over the Coventry Phoenix tomorrow, it sets up for what will be their 3rd meeting of the year, but arguably the most interesting of all of them.
I mean, they really could make a claim that these orange jerseys are the key. They really, really could. A draw with the Warriors, and now taking another time out of the Titans and beating the Titans as well.
I expect to see these jerseys in the final.
Yeah. Well,
Reluctantly.
Well, this is it. I spoke to some of the Aztecs today, and they're like, "Yeah, this is the kit now." And I was like, "Oh, so you're just not going back?" It's like, "No, this is the kit."
Well, you know what? If you're gonna own it, just go full on, all out. Like, I'm surprised I've not seen anyone wearing orange undershirts or leggings.
Well, this is the dispute that they've had with people calling it a colour rush kit, because they're like, "Well, we don't wear, we don't have it's not fully orange. Just do it. Just fully orange.
Just go for it.
Like people already think it's grotesque.
Yeah.
You might as well just really, really sicken people."
This kit might not look. It might look differently if they had the old Bristol Aztecs black helmet with the orange.
Yeah.
And I know you've got a new logo and you kind of got to keep that one, but a black helmet with this, maybe I could see it.
I'm sorry. More teams need to. I know it's Britbowl. We're not like inundated with funds, but come on, give me a throwback. Just give me someone throwback. They might as well be the. That was a very, very shallow toss.
Interesting to risk the toss, but I suppose it's a 2-score game and there's under a minute to play, so Bristol can realistically probably do what they like here. But
for me, look, there's been so much. There's been so many of the not so many of the Aztecs, but there's been people who deserve to be recognised in this game, and just through different things. I mean, I feel like Gretzinger with both his legs and ball placement is spectacular. I mean, God knows how it's going to be when he lines up with the UE Bullets for this upcoming season. Both Ampoma and Bauer, really, really just running that rock straight through. They've just been able to really, really damage any, finals dreams of the Manchester Titans as Gretzinger takes a knee. But I mean, even Sean Cook here, he has been opening these doors in that fullback position for Ampoma, for Bauer, for Vaughan, and arguably for Petrie as well. I mean, there's so much. And as we have the final whistle, the Bristol Aztecs will be going. They're the first team we know that will be going to Coventry on September 7th for Britbowl 37. Their opponent, despite I think both of our assumptions, will be either the Coventry Phoenix or the London Warriors, and that game will be played tomorrow.
Yeah, and I think the Bristol Aztecs will know the challenge ahead of them here. They'll probably be watching the game scores closely in the hope that Coventry managed to upset the Warriors, but they'll know that. Well, let's say this actually. I anticipate that the Bristol Aztecs will start scout for the London Warriors immediately.
Oh, well, Harrison, it wouldn't surprise me. This is a long journey up to Manchester. The Bristol Aztecs are going to have representatives at the University of Greenwich tomorrow just to be able to watch something.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised if plenty of the players and coaches, with this game being on a Saturday, take the trip themselves
100%
to go and watch that game and see how the London Warriors and the Coventry Phoenix get on. But that matchup between, if we just refer to the matchups they've had this year so far, the matchup between the Bristol Aztecs and London Warriors, there's so many strengths playing against each other.
Yeah.
The London Warriors are borderline flawless, as are the Bristol Aztecs. If you break down each positional group, there's just talent in abundance and depth in abundance. The coaching staffs are extremely experienced. You can look to the Bristol Aztecs for their experience with obviously the Aztecs, but UWE Bullets, with Cardiff Cobras, with the SGS Pride, and the London Warriors. You've got a group of universities in that area. You've got NFL academy coaches that are part of that team, and it just sets up for what on paper is arguably the most exciting final. I think that's another reason why we're kind of, I suppose, saying that it's likely to be the Warriors already, because talent, yes, coaching staff, yes, but also the fact that that's the final that probably the average neutral partied person wants to see.
For me, the only storyline I can see for the Coventry Phoenix going in to facing the Aztecs is who is the best team to wear predominantly orange. That is the only thing that I can think of. No, I am kidding, because I do like the Coventry Phoenix, but it's It's the London Warriors, and
yeah. And all respect to Coventry, they're no slouches. They're in the playoffs of the Premiership. They had the first game with Manchester was closely contested. The second one, perhaps not so much, but, there's so much talent on that team. And Coventry will have done plenty of homework. They'll be up for this game. They won't fear the Warriors at all. So it's a case of, the pressure is on Coventry, really. There's no pressure on the London Warriors to do what they have pretty much consistently done for the past decade plus. But I ask you this question, where do the Manchester Titans go from here?
Well, I mean, when the season started, there was not rumours, but there was the rumblings of this is going to be a rebuilding year for the Titans. But the Titans are such a strong outfit with, being able to pull players from, good unis, but obviously Lancashire. And truthfully, you've got these coaches who are developing all year round, not just by, being on the Manchester Titans, but also, University of Salford, Lancashire again. There is space, and the best thing about the Manchester Titans is they are a team that is forever evolving. And it's gonna reach a point where these teams from the south are, they're not going to be able to keep up anymore. This is the second year in a row that we've seen two southern representatives in the Britbowl final, and I personally don't think that that's going to be a trend that continues going forward. But I mean, I feel like it's going to take something large to both knock off the Warriors, but then also to get the Aztecs over that hump. But then I feel like there's going to be... Basically, I feel like if the Aztecs win, I feel like there's almost going to be a grand resetting of the Premiership. We've got teams coming up, and especially in the north, you've got Scunthorpe and you've got Merseyside. You've got potentially the Wembley Stallions if they manage to beat Hearts on the 31st. Because of those two teams now coming up, the Prem North is a completely different beast. But as far as I'm concerned, the Manchester Titans are still going to be the kings of the north, despite the fact that the Coventry Phoenix, I think, have got the key pieces to do it, but I think they just need to have a little bit more time in the oven. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, George Hatfield, the QB for the Coventry Phoenix, one of the best, sort of traditional quarterbacks you've ever seen. He's a big man and he can run through people if he wants to. However, I don't think that this year is going to be the Coventry Phoenix's year. Don't get me wrong, I think if they can bring in some key pieces next year, the Coventry Phoenix realistically could come home with the Northern Premiership title. But going into, if we're talking about Britbowl 38, don't ask me about that. I don't know.
Yeah, so you can keep up to date with the scores on, I believe, London Warriors social media and perhaps the Coventry Phoenix social media tomorrow to see how that semi-final goes, taking part in Greenwich.
And then there is also the GB Women's taking on Finland at Butts Park in Coventry, which I believe kicks off at 12.
Yeah, so that will be live streamed. You'll be able to watch that, I believe.
Yes, I certainly hope so.
Yeah, or even better, head on down to that game, go and support the GB Women's. And I think other than that, it sets up for a national final. Bristol Aztecs confirmed. London Warriors or Coventry Phoenix. It's down to those teams to stake their claim. But other than that, thank you so much for joining me in the booth today, Tebs. It's a privilege to be with an ELF commentator. I hope that, next season, maybe you'll join us again for one of the bigger games and we'll make the 3-hour trip. And
I certainly hope so. It's been, one of my favourite games to call this season. And I mean, I've had a great time commentating with you, and I will try to come back to Manchester. It all depends on how many 3-hour journeys I can fit into my Britbowl schedule.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much for joining us today, guys. Final score of today's game: Bristol Aztecs 38, Manchester Titans 28, pushing the Aztecs onto the national final on the 7th of September. Take care.